Okay, so I played about half an hour of this last night, and I was fascinated by it, and I thought, why not stream it? I'm not sure how that'll go, if I'll like give up on it at some point, or realize that the aspect of uncovering everything to do with the story may be more complicated than I realize, and I won't be very streaming friendly, but I'll see that when I get there. But so I'm not sure what will happen there. So just to play it safe, I will just start again from the very start, which it won't be much different. I mean, like it won't. It's just hey Jerry. What did I do wrong? Um, is it because of the Mad Verse diss? Um, oh, no problem. I mean, if you stream at inconvenient hours for me, I have to stream at inconvenient hours for you. It's a good system. Uh, I'll keep the guide on even though I mean, there might be something I haven't seen yet. Anyway, so I have just reset my file. This story is a work of fiction, names fiction, places of fiction, characters of fiction, except the fact that this takes place in Shibuya, which is slightly a real place. But it does say only resemblances to persons. Okay. If you look real closely, I'm sure you can see the Phantom Thieves. The main thing I'm fascinated with this by is that just Shibuya is a very busy place in Tokyo, and they've just like got all these weird things they're just filming there, and I just wonder like how many people's days had to be interrupted by it, or how many people's days weren't interrupted by it. And I don't know, like how much more of the stuff will take place in like open skies and the broad daylight in Shibuya, but it could be very silly, I imagine. Also, is the volume okay? Like, is my voice way too quiet? Is the game way too quiet? I don't know. I suppose if my voice is too quiet, you can't hear me say that. I suppose I could check, but I won't do it.
新宿区オフィスビル立てこもり事件の速報です。今朝新宿6丁目のオフィスビルに目出し帽をかぶった40歳前後とみられる男が従業員数人を人質に取り立てこもりました。その後数時間経った今も男は会社員の話によりますと、立てこもっている男は北島という男である可能性が高いとのことです。その男は以前からこのビル内のある企業との仕事上の取引があり、金銭上のトラブルが絶えなかったということです。今回の立てこもりはそのトラブルに端を発したものではないかと見方が強まります。
But if like it could be better in any way, just let me know and I can tweak some of the settings. That's like a rare actual video footage in the game. I don't know how much more there is, but most of the rest of it has just mostly been photos. Alright, as you play for the game, the various mechanics will be explained. In 428, you follow the story of multiple protagonists at once. Your decisions impact their experiences as you read the story. What does the day hold in store? Their fate is in your hands. Hopefully, you can see them all through to the end. To start, you only have 2 characters, Shinya Kano and Achi Endo. Let's begin by checking out Kano's story. So really, we actually only have 1 character because they won't let you pick him yet. And now I need to decide how I'm going to voice act this or something. Just 2 minutes to go. Shinya Kano noted the time again on his watch, scowling at the slow creep of the second hand. The time was 9:58 AM. Furrows of consternation creased his forehead. He wasn't nervous, but he knew better than to expect everything to go smoothly. Keeping a level head was proving rather difficult. There was no room for failure. Lives were on the line here. He eyed his surroundings. Was the perp really going to show up? When? Where would he be coming from? How would he make his approach? The Shibuya Scramble was as packed as ever. A throng of people crossing this way and that, blissfully unaware of the dozens of detectives hidden in its face. Like, they must be real citizens. Alright, another minute and a half. Kano glanced at his watch yet again. A mere 30 seconds had passed. Detective Kano had been with the enforcement of Shibuya's Criminal Affairs section for a year now, but he'd never been part of an operation this big before. He eyed the young woman standing beside the statue up ahead. She was small enough to get lost in the crowd, and she carried a nondescript attaché case. I've never seen that word before. Hitomi Osawa, age 19. The attaché case in her hands contained a full 50 million yen in cash. Yesterday, her twin sister Maria had been kidnapped. This was the ransom payment. The culprit had called Hitomi last night at home, referring to her by name and telling her to wait by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya. It was almost time, but nothing. Kano was staring fixedly in the second hand of his watch when a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk murmured just loud enough for him to hear. "Come on, Kano, quit looking at your watch so much. What if the kidnapper sees you?" Kano tried to look nonchalant as he lifted his eyes, but the scruffy character continued. "You're too nervous. Just relax already." "You're the one acting suspicious, Sayama." Kano frowned. "Why would some homeless guy be talking to me?" Yuji Sasayama was the senior officer of the Shibuya Precinct's Criminal Affairs Division, 5 years older than Kano. Some word phrases appear in text in blue. These words are called tips. Press X to read a tip. This will let you read extra info relating to a word or phrase. There are tips containing general knowledge and ones that are 428 specific. These are marked with a magnifying glass and a 428 respectively. Shibuya Precinct. Official name, Shibuya Central Precinct, responsible for the safety of approximately 200,000 people in 32 neighborhoods, including all of those places I'm not going to read out. He always went a little overboard with the disguises. He claimed it was all part of the job, but word around the station was that he just liked playing dress up. "Hey pal, spare some change?" Sasayama lurched to his feet and shuffled in close to Kano. "Hey, knock it off!" Fittingly for that part, Sasayama reeked pretty badly. "Well, ain't so suspicious now, huh?" He clung to Kano with mock camaraderie, despite the younger man's attempt to pull him away. Also, I'm going to have to be guessing who's speaking all the time, and I'll probably mess it up. "Come on, Sasayama, cut it out!" Sasayama's blithe confidence rattled Kano's nerves. Of course, there was good reason for that confidence. This was Kano and Sasayama's jurisdiction, but they were positioned at a good distance from where the hand was to take place. "Hey Ben!" What are you doing awake at this hour? Jurisdiction, a particular region over which an organization or a member thereof has control or authority. Refers here to the areas under the jurisdiction of various police precincts. The Metropolitan Police Department, at the pinnacle of Tokyo's police hierarchy, has vastly more authority than local precincts, but since many officers wind up needing to work with both, the outright rivalry between the two isn't as noteworthy as TV dramas may make it seem. I can believe that because I've seen you streaming at hours when I'm used to you going to bed. Like you start streaming at those hours. The statue of Hachiko was surrounded by the elite investigators from one of HQ's special investigation teams. Sometimes two or more tips appear on the screen at the same time, yada yada yada. Bronze statue of the dog erected in 1934. The dog was famous for loyally waiting for his absent master. Well known as a meetup spot outside of Shibuya Station. Other popular meetup spots at the station are the display car for the original Tokyo 5000 series, commonly known as the Green Frog, and the Moyai statue in the west entrance. If good, I mean, I assume you just mean on Steam, and I don't think I have. Well, I wouldn't even know. I'd know less about Mac, but I don't think there's any I really know that you don't already have. HQ here refers to the Metropolitan Police Department, the Tokyo Police Section responsible for managing 101 precincts within the city, Japan's largest police organization. In addition to policing Tokyo, it has various other duties and authorities for maintaining public order in the capital. Kano and his partner were just there to provide backup if the kidnapper attempted to flee. Look, just try to relax, we'll be fine. Sasayama gave him a wink. A moment later, the radio squawked in Kano's ears. Alright everyone, it's time. Keep your eyes open. The voice coming in from the earpiece was Koji Kuze, HQ's operations director. The individual responsible for directing the investigation of the event of a serious crime. If a task force is set up, the operations director is the one who assumes command. TV dramas and other fictional accounts often feature some young prodigy from the MPD as operations director, but in reality, the position usually goes to a proven veteran. Until last year, he'd been at the Shibuya Precinct's head detective and Kano supervisor. By the way, Ben, since you're good at these things, like, what's the volume like? We don't know when the perp is going to make contact. Don't let your guard down. Kuze's low, gravelly voice echoed in Kano's ear. You don't sound too worried, Kuze. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Kano winced at Sasayama's word. Oh wait, no, it was. Words. How could the man be so nonchalant? The appointed time had come and gone. Something should have happened. Could be. I mean, I can bump it up a bit, yeah. I mean, to be honest, like, this is kind of chill music. It could be more intense later. The appointed time had come and gone. Something should have be happening. What? Kano smacked himself in the thigh to release a little tension. The sound was louder than he'd intended, but the suit hid his muscular physique. It did little to dampen the noise. He needed to stay focused. Oh, I thought you meant it could be as in it could be louder. Yeah, I'll fix that. Okay. He might be called into action at any moment. The department handled abduction cases according to certain standard investigation procedure. Was it an attempt to extort money, or was the motive something personal? The answer to that question determined how they deal with the criminal. And based on the investigation team's initial findings this time around, they probably weren't dealing with a professional kidnapper. Still, in all likelihood, it was someone with quite a long rap sheet. Probably someone who knew the family, but so far they had few leads on who that might bear such a grudge. With the situation so unclear, the plan was to apprehend whomsoever came to make the handoff in sight. If the culprit ran with the money, there'd be no guarantee of the hostage's well-being. Still nothing. Sasayama muttered. It was the wrong one. There he is. He's here. Kuze broke in, his voice spiking into an excited chirp. Kuze's particular vocal quirk. Whenever he gets overly flustered, excited or panicked, he slipped into a childish register, prone to babbling and pitching his voice. Subject is a young male in his 20s. wearing a bandana and an orange hoodie. Kuze, normally calm and stoic, was now squawking like an excited child, and I'm not showing it in the voice. That only happened when he got particularly worked up. Kano and Sasayama steeled themselves. They could see the subject now. A 20-something male nonchalantly approached Tomi to talk to her. Alright people, be ready to grab this guy. Kuze was stationed in the mobile command center, not far from the intersection, keeping tabs on the situation via video surveillance from the camera team. The young man started speaking enthusiastically to Hitomi. The detective watched, uncertain. Was this really the kidnapper? Alright, so I did have to make a choice the first time I did this. I'm going to pick the choice I didn't pick before, because apparently it doesn't actually matter. You'll encounter selections like these during the story. These choices will change the lives of other people, in addition to changing your own fate. Use up and down to make your choice and press A. The current choice will not impact you or any of the other protagonists. So yeah, I'm going to pretend that this guy is the perv. Yes, that was him alright. Kano took a step forward. Hold it! Sasayama yanked him back. Don't be so hasty! But, just watch for a minute. Sasayama gestured with a nod. With Hitomi steadfastly ignoring him, the young man slunk away. Yep, it didn't make a difference. Guess it wasn't him. Kano felt the tension of the moment linger in his spine. Guy must have been hidden on her, Sasayama muttered. Succeeding at meeting someone on the fly like this takes a special knack. Looks are also important. Sometimes, of course, the person trying to get your attention out of nowhere is just trying to make a sales pitch for a product or a nearby establishment. At first glance, it isn't always easy to tell the difference. I mean, she is pretty cute and all. He had a point. Of course. Something in Sasayama's voice made Kano brace himself. She's got nothing on my Michan. Oh, I've had to say that out loud. Michan was Sasayama's wife. They'd gotten married just last month. Let me tell you, Kano, married life is the best. You gotta hurry up and give it a try for yourself. This was Sasayama's favourite topic lately, and Kano was getting more and more fed up with it. Sasayama, come on, just knock it off, okay? Well, I mean, when I see Michan, I think of Higurashi, because this character that literally calls another character Michan. This phrase had been a common refrain of his since the department partnered them. Fine, fine. Let's talk about your girlfriend then. Huh? Now? You can't be serious. Sasayama leaned in close again. What's she like? We are not having this conversation, Kano muttered, looking away. Oh, come on! Sasayama set his hands on Kano's chest, still playing the homeless troublemaker. Show me your phone! Let me see your lock screen! Huh? Sasayama poured for the phone. You've got a pic of your girl on your lock screen, yeah? I do not. But he did. It was scary how on the mark Sasayama's instincts were. Hey, cut it out, we're in the middle of an investigation. I am investigating, Sasayama chuckled as he plucked the phone from Kano's pocket. His face scrunched up with astonishment as he looked at the lock screen. The heck is this? It's not. Ain't this Masami Nagahama? A national pop star, tends to play the heroine on national morning soap operas or in national historical dramas. Her songs have been a series of national hits, and she's even slated to host the year-end national singing competition program. Everything about her is national. Kano realised he had to bite the bullet. No, that's my girlfriend. Her name's Rumi, and she's... Sasayama cut him off. You're telling me this ain't Masami Nagahama, the famous actress? Because this right here is Masami Nagahama. Like I said, you sly old dog, trying to make it look like you're dating Masami Nagahama. I'm not. I mean, I guess Ruby does kind of look like a... Sasayama let out a huff. For real? You really think I'm gonna fall for that? There's nothing to fall for, I swear. Sasayama out, unconvinced. Alright, why don't you marry her? Kano stammered, but he had no answer. The truth was, he would have happily married her already, but there were obstacles that needed to be overcome. Okay, playtime's over. Let's focus on the job. Sasayama handed back Kano's phone and turned his gaze back to Hitomi. Kano let out a quick, uneasy sigh, but his shoulders felt looser. Maybe Sasayama had been trying to relieve a bit of the tension. Maybe he should be grateful. By now, several minutes had passed since the guy with the papers had gone away. I just realised I forgot to tweet it out, but it doesn't actually matter. Oh, maybe I will tweet it out. Okay. Done. Oops. What did I have open before? Yeah, I want this one up. Okay. Yep, okay. By now, several minutes had passed since the guy with the papers had gone away. He peered at Hitomi. The strain on her face was visible. In addition to the weight of the attaché case itself, the 5,010... That's a weird phrase. The 10,000 yen bill it held weighed close to 6 kilos. Her slender arms must have been getting tired. Still, she refused to set the case down. She wasn't taking any chances with her sister's life. Hey! The kidnapping case had begun the day before at around 7 p.m. I'm playing a difficult game that has no gameplay. This is MTPD dispatch. This Shibuya precinct is reporting a missing person, believed to be an abduction. I don't know, maybe it's what people have been after all this time. In Japanese law, the act of indirectly luring or deceiving someone into control of a third party is known as a kidnapping. Using forcible threats or violence to achieve the same result is known as an abduction. Subject is Maria Osawa, a 19-year-old student at Midoriyama Academy, last seen at LL Diner near campus. I know, right? A man was allegedly seen forcing her into a car nearby. All officers in the vicinity reported the scene at once. Kano and Sasayama had been working in a burglary case in Jingumae's 5th district when they got the call. Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say. Yeah, that's it. The two arrived at the LL Diner at 7:15 p.m. At roughly the same time, several other officers showed up to secure the area, blocking off entry to nearby roadways, monitoring the surrounding establishment. Inside the restaurant, Kano and Sasayama were met by the girl who'd reported the kidnapping. It was the victim's twin sister, Hitomi. Could you tell us about when Maria was taken, starting from the very beginning? Kano said, keeping his voice low. My sister and I, we were supposed to go to a party together. Today. Hitomi was trembling, her voice hoarse. But I messed up the time. I showed up right at 7, an hour later than I was supposed to. So Maria had gone alone to a party, a mixer for the locals and exchange students. It's hard to remember that the guy on the left is the homeless guy from before. Craigasm Ben. Hitomi, arriving late, had shown up just in time to glance out through the restaurant window and see her sister getting shoved into a car. She described the vehicle as a blue station wagon of Japanese make. Why would something like this happen to her? Hitomi held back the tears, but she was shaking it all over. Did you get a look at the kidnapper? Yes, it was a man, middle-aged. There was another eyewitness, Leland Palmer. He identified himself as a lecturer at Hitomi and Maria's school. I saw too. It's like Hitomi says. I heard Hitomi cry out, and so I went to the window to look, and his Japanese was halting, as if he hadn't been in the country very long. And I think that maybe the kidnapper was working alone, Leland explained that he had seen the man shove Maria into the back seat and clamber into the driver's seat. If he had an accomplice, wouldn't they have been driving? Neither Hitomi or Leland had gotten a look at the suspect's face. Kano was interviewing others who had been on the scene, looking for potential witnesses when his phone rang. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the senior detectives. We've set up a task force for the investigation. Get back to the station once you have a handle on the situation there. Barely half an hour had passed since the time of the kidnapping was reported and the time the task force began operation. Roughly 150 people are working on the case in the Shibuya Precinct's conference room. The main force at work is HQ's First Special Investigation Unit. Additionally, other detective sections, a riot squad, and investigators from neighbouring precincts have been assembled. When Kano and Sasayama got back to the precinct station, Kuze had already arrived from HQ. He informed them that a response team had been formed to investigate the victim's home. No worries, thanks for coming by. Possibly see you tomorrow. I don't know what's. Oh wait, no, you don't. You're never those night streams. Never mind. In a case where someone has been abducted for ransom, it is often difficult to resolve a situation without cooperating with the victim's family. But the family can also be a hindrance making an arrest.
To help guide the family's action, a response team was assembled and stationed at a victim's home, led by an investigator with the proper training. Kano felt a particular tension in the air. Unfamiliar MPD detectives scurried to and fro around the Shibuya offices. He pulled one of them aside to get a quick update. An hour now had passed since the kidnapping. There had been one new developing. The perpetrator had made a threatening call to the victim's home. He said the following.
Tomorrow, 10 a.m. by Hachiko in Shibuya. Have the sister Hitomi bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is for forfeit.
Kajiwara from the precinct was put on the response team along with detectives from elsewhere who'd received specialty training on abduction cases. Normally, a local precinct detective wouldn't have gone undercover in a victim's home. Kuze, however, had decided that having a knowledgeable local was crucial and sent Kajiwara along. The detectives disguised themselves as delivery people and movers to make their way inside without arousing suspicion, arriving there at 8:30. The response team had come prepared to run a trace if the kidnapper contacted the family a second time. The act of pinpointing the source of an incoming phone call. The police are not allowed to do this independently without oversight. They must go through a formalised process that includes securing the cooperation of the phone company. In the past, that made it sound like we're going to list things. In the past, conducting the trace itself would take time, but nowadays acquiring the location can be practically instantaneous. But there were no further calls. Kano checked his watch again. 20 minutes had now passed since the time designated for the ransom handover. The kidnapper had yet to appear. Crap, you think we might have spooked him? He wondered aloud.
Hey, stay calm!
Sasayama scanned the passing throng. He's just playing with us! Why'd this guy even pick this place? Kano voiced the question he'd been asking himself ever since he'd heard the kidnapper's demands.
Sasayama shrugged. Figure he must want to blend in with the crowd, nab the money, and disappear before anyone knows he's here, would be my guess.
In that case, why not pick Shinjuku, or Ginza? The big crowd just didn't benefit the kidnapper at all. It also allowed the police to use the sea of people to conceal their own operation. Wait, was I? Oh, no, I was voicing a character who was doing that. Probably. Right now, there were 50 detectives stationed within a 50-meter radius of where Hitomi stood. Wait, aren't you still streaming right now? Probably you just stopped it. The kidnapper would be taking a major risk if his plan was to nab the ransom money and run. That's what bothered Kano. Okay, you did just stop streaming. Any criminal with half a brain would know better than to do a handoff in front of Hachiko.
You're overthinking things, pal,
Sasayama grumbled. No, I'm not. Kano reached into his pocket and pulled out his notepad. This was Kano's dick diary, which he always kept close at hand. Sasayama rolled his eyes. I didn't even think of that Hifumi, I just thought of Persona 5 again.
That thing again!
Kano ignored him, flipping through the notepad pages. Aha! Here it is! Dick Dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. I will not use Hifumi voice for Hifumi though. I've already decided against that. It was a favourite saying of Kyuzu Tateno, an assistant inspector from the Shibuya precinct. Tateno was the kind of detective Kano aspired to be. For the current operation, he'd been placed in charge of Hitomi's personal safe. Wait, no, oh shit, have I saying... Oh! No, Hitomi, that's the Eye character. That's why I was thinking of Hifumi, they're similar. He was in position to defend her as soon as the ransom had been handed off. Of course, Hitomi hadn't been informed of how much protection she was under. There was a risk that if she acted too secure, it might alert the kidnapper. I think Tateno has the right idea. Sasayama snorted quietly.
Mate, I mean, he's a great detective, don't get me wrong. But do you know how many irrelevant things there are to consider?
Again, Kano ignored him. It didn't matter that nobody else understood. Kano had faith in Tateno, as both a detective and as an individual. He had first witnessed Tateno's brilliance during a standoff in a financial company 13 years earlier. A man shut himself inside an office, splashing gasoline everywhere and threatening to set the place ablaze. While the others hesitated, Tatsuno unflinchingly doused himself with gasoline and strode into the building, where he managed to talk the man down to secure the scene. The others had been awestruck by Tatsuno's actions, and Kano, who at the time had been content to be a run-of-the-mill policeman, found it quite inspiring. He looks so cute there. Still, you know, Sasayama mumbled under his breath. As a great a detective as Tatsuno is, it's not like anyone else in the world has ever heard of him. I suppose not, Kano said, so... Only time someone ever hears a cop's name is if he's caught up in some scandal or killed in the line of duty. I mean, doesn't really seem fair, does it? Kano just shrugged. It was a strange definition of unfair, really. I mean, you've got celebrity chefs and celebrity hairdressers and stuff. So how come no celebrity gumshoes, you know? Also, it's bugging me that oh wait, they seem to like start new quotation marks even though it's the same person talking. And that one they didn't even put the finished quotation marks before. Look, please, can you just focus on what we're doing here? Kano rubbed his eyes and then turned his attention back to Hitomi. What's the matter? Didn't sleep? Not enough, I guess. Did you eat? Didn't have time. Between bringing in supplies for the base of operations, readying the team vehicles. The base of operations is usually set up in a large room in the precinct, such as an auditorium. MPD and the precinct investigators assemble there, and communications equipment, investigative resources, and such are brought in. Because of the scale and scope of these activities, newspaper reporters can be liable to notice, and so in cases such as kidnapping where a victim's personal safety is at stake, the flow of information is tightly controlled. Photocopying hundreds of I'm going alright, of documents and various other tasks. Kano had barely slept in the previous night and hadn't gotten a meal in either. What have you been doing? Sasayama puffed his chest. Saving up my energy for today. So you were sleeping. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped and suddenly through Kano's earpiece. A man in his 20s wearing a sleeveless red jacket. He's carrying a garbage bag. A young man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He strode toward her, a sinister look on his face. He didn't match Hitomi's description, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper had hired some young street punk to snatch the ransom payment. That our guy? What do you think, Kano? Sasayama whispered. Yeah, I think he's got to be. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready to act fast. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Could this be the culprit? Who, Kano or Sasayama? Or perhaps a young man tried to snatch the briefcase from Hitomi, but she clung to it with desperate strength. It was him. The detectives rushed in. Whoa, hey, what the hell? The young man cried out frantically and tried to dart away, but the officers closed in, forcing him bodily to the ground. Like, imagine just seeing this just in, like, downtown Shibuya. Target secured. Oh, jeez, I think we've got another suspect on the scene. Eek, he's taken a ransom. Kuze's hysterics made Kano spin around. Sure enough, a foreign-looking man was sprinting away, attaché case in hand. The mob of detectives scrambling to pursue. Before Kano could react, most of them had run off, leaving him to look after the original suspect. There's been like video footage as well. Like, see that? The woman who's just walking past there, she's just got this blank stare on her face like, what is going on? I'm not dealing with this. What should I do with this guy, sir? He might have some connection to the kidnapper. Should I bring him in? Huh? Oh sure, that'd be swell! I'm on it. With the help of one of the remaining detectives, Kano brought the suspect back to Shibuya Precinct. Alright, now I don't need to figure out a voice for this. Look, how many times do we have to go through this? Cut the crap! In the interrogation room, the young man, who gave his name as Achi Endo, steadfastly insisted on his innocence. Why'd you try to steal that case? Kano watched Achi's face intently. Like I said, it looked heavy, so I was trying to help her out. It wasn't inconceivable that a young guy would want to help a pretty girl. But Hitomi, had just been standing there, hardly in desperate need of assistance. She hadn't set the case down, so I figured there had to be something important inside. An entry from Kano's dick diary shot through his mind. Dick dictum number 25. When the tongue slips, grab it and yank out the truth. Classic advice for a questioning. Something important, you say, such as, how the heck would I know? Archie spat. He huffed and slumped back in his chair. The standard textbook back and forth had been going on for nearly an hour. I don't know, I think Kano is just a dorky dude. Kano didn't mind. Chasing down criminals was all well and good, but questioning suspects was another key part of the job. Plenty of off-the-scene work went into cracking the case. Of course, it could just be a weird translation quirk. Once again, he had Archie explain what he'd been doing, starting from the beginning. When Kano finally emerged from the interrogation room for a short break, he learned there'd been some progress on the case at the crime scene. What the police hadn't been able to determine yet was whether or not Maria was safe. Fighting back his anxiety, Kano consulted his dick diary. Dick dictum number 54. Haste makes waste. He felt his tension subside, remembering the right maxim always helped. It was like casting a magic spell. Kano returned to confront Archie once more. You were there to act as a distraction, to mess up the investigation, weren't you? Huh? Archie looked a bit dumbfounded. What are you on about? Dick dictum number 55. The truth hungers to be free. You hungry? Got some katsudon if you like. Japanese dish consisting of a bowl of white rice topped with breaded pork cutlet and egg. There are several variations such as sauce katsudon, where the egg is replaced with Worcestershire sauce, and miso katsudon, where the pork is stewed in miso. Not typically the sort of thing the policeman offers the suspect during interrogation. This could be seen as baiting of food and is to be avoided. And now I'm really hungry for some katsu. Archie nodded silently. Now I'm really hungry for some katsu. Archie devoured the bowl of katsudon with gusto. He looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. Alright, then spill it. What's this guy after? Archie just shrugged. I don't know, he murmured, a thick slice of egg-laden pork between his teeth. How many accomplices do you have? Kano asked, but Archie just shook his head as he inhaled his food. Resignedly, Kano flipped through his notebook once more. Let's see, number 115. Use the lights to your advantage. As the minutes ticked past, he found himself referring to his book again and again, trying a dozen different methods to tease out whatever his suspect might be hiding. The experience began to feel strangely surreal, their two voices echoing hollowly in the interrogation room. Eventually, Kano looked at the clock and realized the questioning had been going on for nearly 5 hours. He still hadn't made any headway. What was he supposed to do next? Tatsuno would know, but he sure didn't. Still, he was determined to do whatever he could to keep the victim and her family safe. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he perused the dick diary like it was scripture. Number 116. The monotonous questioning was clearly tiring Archie out. His eyelids drooped like they were beginning to get heavy. Number 117. Get 'em when they're tired. Kano's eyes gleamed. You're part of some criminal gang, huh? Archie's head slumped forward heavily. Nodding off was basically the same as nodding, yes, right? Mr. Kuze, I've done it! The young guy we've grabbed at the handoff site. He finally confessed to the crime. What? What are you talking about? Kuze laughed in disbelief. We're just about to apprehend the mastermind here. Huh? Kano clutched his cell phone, dumbstruck. Listen, why don't you, look, just wait there at HQ, okay? No, it can't be. So that's why I mean Kano is a bit dorky, and also maybe a bit stupid. After the kidnapping case wrapped up, Kano tendered his resignation. Guess I'm not cut out to be a detective after all, he thought to himself. He dropped his dick diary on the desk as he left the Shibuya precinct for the last time. Yeah, so this is as much as I've seen. I got to here and I stopped. Kano wound up at a bad end. However, this does not mean that the choice you made for Kano was the wrong one. One of the other protagonists, Archie Endo, has an impact on Kano's fate here. You can avoid a bad end by making proper decisions. In another character's story. For a detailed hint, see the cheap underlining the band ending, press X and Okay. I mean, all you need to know is that like Kano is a detective working for like police or whatever, and he was doing an undercover operation for a ransom case where a girl's twin sister had been kidnapped yesterday, I think, and she was thus waiting with the ransom money, and they were going to apprehend the suspect when they tried to take it from her. And Kano has tried to apprehend seemingly the wrong suspect, and he's made a fool out of himself, and now he's just given up on his career because of how stupid he was. But that's the bad ending. Hint. Kano had every reason to suspect Archie Endo, but arresting him turned out to be a mistake. If Archie hadn't approached Hitomi, this wouldn't have happened. Try playing Archie's story up to 10:30 and make a choice that keeps him from going up to her. If you do that, Kano won't even have a chance to arrest him, and things should play out differently. Yeah, I mean, he's a relatively new detective, I think, and I mean, chronologically, this is the first timeline. But now, that guy that we kidnapped is literally the guy we're playing as now. You can now select Archie Endo, one of the other protagonists. Let's follow Archie's story for a little while. I believe there are 5 protagonists, so all up. And this is all new to me. Yes? Archie Endo called out to the door at his father's room. Oh yeah, something I meant to say is I just said that it's her twin sister kidnapped, but like I have this sneaking suspicion that there's no such thing as a twin and it's all just a ruse. Like, I don't know. You can't not question it when there's twins involved. Okay, I'm heading out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned. He didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay in the shop? It's not like we're gonna get any customers. Archie grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. The drawer by the front door bars held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. Archie pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. He stuffed the trash bags into his pocket, then slipped his favorite pair of sneakers. So I have no idea what he's doing. Maybe he's just like looking to collect garbage to sell or something. The entryway to Archie's home also led into the family's shop. Various pieces of electronic were piled up like so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche. Archie wove his way through the gaps in the appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. Watch out for the shopkeepers. Don't shoot them. From Shibuya Station, if you make your... Yeah, I was thinking Tenmo as well. If you make your way past the 109 building, then up through the Dogenzaka, you come across an old shopping district. Or maybe Tenmyoji is why I thought that's an idea. Nestled in its outskirts is Endo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows and wares all caked in dust. At a glance, you might as well assume the place was closed. A mum and pop place like Endo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business thanks to locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking good for the future. Archie, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there, and the government would not give them enough of a rebate for COVID-19. Archie stepped out of the shop and into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits. Alrighty, time to do this! He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way towards Shibuya Station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Sheesh, this place is filthy! He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed on the ground. Then with a heavy sigh, he slipped the crushed receptacle into his trash bag. I wonder what time he actually met up with Hitomi, because I don't know what time it is right now. He'd been picking up trash around town like this for about 6 months now. It had gotten so that the sort of garbage that most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Most days he'd fill his trash bag to the top by the time he made it from his house in Dogenzaka to the train station. Today he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. "I'm sorry, I'm in a bit of a hurry here." It's a different woman. He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by 2 men, one with brown hair, one with black. From the look of them, he guessed the men were scouts for some sort of hostess club. Yeah, or like K-pop or something. He ran into this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash cleaning walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of. Yeah, J-pop, sorry. Archie quickly interposed himself between the girl and 2 recruiters. "Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her?" "Huh? Who the hell are you?" The 2 men glared. "Take a hike, pal." Archie stood his ground. "Look, she ain't interested. You're just gonna have to find some other mark." The hustler's annoyance. That's not hero voice. The hustler's annoyance turned out to be oven rage. No, I'm not doing that. Well, listen to you. Got a bit of mouth, huh, buddy? The brown-haired thug smacked his lips around the chewing gum like a dog worrying a bone. "How about we take this somewhere more quiet, yeah?" What this means depends on the person speaking. To a young woman, let's go someplace more quiet might suggest a cafe or a park, but to a street punk, it might mean an alley where a passerby is unlikely to interrupt. The girl stood by uneasily watching the goings-on. "Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble." Is that supposed to be an apology? On your own knees and beg, pal. I have no idea who's talking, so I'm just giving them the same voice. The man spat his gum onto the ground. Archie looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shred of goodwill vanished. "You better pick that up. Right now." "What? Didn't you hear me? 'Cause I told you to get down on your knees and back." Archie's hand shot out, grabbing the man by his jaw. Whoa, easy, pal. The other man's bravado drained from his face. Archie tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw, sweat dripping from the man's reddening brow. The man struggled, but Archie just tightened his grip. "Gum's a real pain in the ass to clean up after it's gotten stuck to the street, you know. Ever stop to consider that? Wait, are you..." The other hustler's panicked eyes had fixed on Archie's chest. Gah! Oh crap! That shirt man! The guy's voice was starting to break! That's Mean Clean! A guy with a Mean Clean shirt, carrying around a trash bag! That means you're... His face went pale. Gah! Mean Clean! The other man echoed the words from his held shut jaw, tears welling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Archie clenched the man's jaw harder. Still, it's Mean Clean. Oh, we're sorry, man. You're Archie, right? Dude, we honestly had no idea. Come on, man. You gotta cut us some slack. The man scrambled to snap the wad of gum off the street, sniffing into his pants pocket. This is the weirdest, power dynamic. Finally, Archie let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Gasping out hasty apologies, the 2 thugs scampered off. Hey, so... A shy smile came to the girl's face. Ryoko Kakinuma, a second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to a part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in trashy e-novels for the main character to fall in love with a hustler like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. But is it gonna happen in this? Thank you for saving me. No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You run into creeps like that now and then, but don't hold it against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Archie gave her a quick wave, then turned and continued on his way down to Dogenzaka. Archie was Shibuya born and raised. He was keenly aware of all the changes the ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocery stalls and inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Archie knew it all like the back of his hand. I know too. Trash, humans or otherwise. Trash, humans or otherwise, had no place in this town. Not on his watch. Archie made his way down towards Shibuya Station. Throngs of people shuffled to and fro across the scramble. This is the same, like that's literally the same sentence as last time. The view had shifted constantly from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city were a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart, with streets like Bunkamura Dori and Sentagai serving as the arteries, pumping a bloodstream made of people. Today as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Archie, just another part of this great urban organism. He looked so proud. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Or wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell. Hold on. Is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? I can never remember. White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream. Red blood cells carry oxygen out the body. Archie was probably thinking of white blood cells. If it was Sigma, he'd be making cat puns. Emerging from his reverie, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. And we're going to make him not approach her, I assume. Ooh, she's totally my type. He's hitting on her! To be up someone's alley, to be someone's cup of tea. Wonder if she's a model or a small-time actress or something. Looks like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy. Dang! Good looking as she was, there was no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably the rich-ass CEO of an IT company or something. Crouching down to tie off the trash bag, he continued gazing wistfully at the girl. Then he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying an attaché case, the kind a businessman might use. It was a large case and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold it despite using both hands. Wait. Tie what up? Wait. Yeah, obviously we've got to pick B. You've reached a decision point. Let's have Archie not approach Hitomi. Use to select an option, then press A. But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Now Archie won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano. At the same time, Kano's fate will also change, and he will no longer wind up at a bad end. So let's switch back to Kano's story using the time chart. Press Y to open it. Ah! Does this count as being Sigma again? This is the time chart. It shows the protagonist's progress throughout the story. Decision points are marked with one of them. Kano's fate has changed based on Archie's decisions. Select Kano's 10:30 block, then press A. Wait, so Kano's story does go across 30 minutes. I assume we pick this one? I suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a rare chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There is! Kuze's voice chirped and suddenly through Kano's ear. Wait, is this different? Hey, oh yeah! I know, right? I've never had to... Oh, it's a different person! Previously, Archie got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now, another man has appeared instead. By changing the, hang on, yeah, I think I just broke something off my control. Never mind. Another man has appeared instead. By changing what Archie did, you've also changed Kano's story. The man in the black coat, he's not Japanese, he looks to be in his late 30s. A foreign man had emerged from the crowd, about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way towards her, her expression blank. I mean, to be fair, Like, it's got controller inputs. And also it means I don't have to sit at my keyboard. He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. I mean, like, I get so exhausted just clicking my mouse to play like Higurashi. Alright, Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. And it's like, it's not worth it though to be an auto scroll because it's too slow then. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Okay, this guy is a bit creepy. Was this guy the culprit, or perhaps the stranger took a hold of the attaché case? It was him! En masse, the detectives began to close in.
Let's go, Kano!
On it, Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. Also, by the way, that was my sound. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running towards them. Ooh. This is saying like I can't read this yet. Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to a point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story. Okay, Sigma. At 10:30, Archie has the text, "Young man in a suit," set as red keywords. Wait, Archie, yep. Checking these red keywords will allow you to jump from Archie's story back to Kano's. Now, head back to Archie's story and keep an eye out for that key phrase. You know, the phrase that will be in red. But also, that's some serious debate. It's like, finally, let's go back to Kano's story. 5 minutes later, rejected. Except not 5 minutes later, because we're still at 10:30. I mean, I assume I have to pick this again. I just did instinctively press B though. But first I gotta set up this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black and he wasn't Japanese. It looked like they were having a conversation. A very friendly conversation. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Archie stared. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. Ooh, he's interpreting it differently to Kano. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. I wonder... Yeah, I was also thinking the people behind him. Oh, yeah, I feel super bad about that. You've been here before though, haven't you? Whoa! A nearby homeless... Yeah, there's like reliable narrators and stuff. A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Archie and broke into a run, as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. Yuji Sasayama, a detective with the Shibuya precinct, known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfits he wears on stakeouts. He's partnered with Shin Kano for the kidnapping investigation. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this different perspectives thing. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Some words appeared in the text in red. Red text denotes important keywords that let you jump between different protagonists' stories. This allows you to shift between characters at specific points. These can also allow you to clear out a keep out in another character's story and let you read on. If you come across red text, press X to underline it, then press A. A window will appear allowing you to jump from one protagonist to another at that point. Then press A to continue the other character's story after the keep out. Give it a try. By performing a jump from the screen, you can advance another protagonist's story past a keep out. Press A to confirm and jump to Kano's story. Did you just look it up?
Let's go, Kano!
On it. Sasayama and Kano leapt into an action. You did it! Jump successful. In 428, you will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep in mind as you advance through this story. Okay, there won't be any more tutorial messages for a while. If you get stuck somewhere, try changing protagonists or making different decisions to advance. You can now use the time chart in the main menu. From the main menu you can access gameplay explanations and adjust settings. Press Y to open the time chart and start to open the main menu. But they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the men suddenly veered, running toward them. Wow! Catching sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt, then bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume and glasses and followed in hot pursuit. At the crosswalk, the signal... Wait, Kano was wearing a costume? Why? At the crosswalk, the signal changed to red, and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back into motion. There was no escape from the culprit. Yeah, look at the people just looking at it. Like that guy in the orange. And the woman standing. There was no escape for the culprit now, or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then, the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between the oncoming cars with no hesitation. The mobs of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush their deaths along with him. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into the traffic at the crossing. Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Kano heard Sasayama shouting, but his feet kept carrying him onward. With shouts and sirens echoing around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little bit I'd love to learn more about just how they put this together. Just a little closer and he'd be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixed on the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off! Wait, no, this is the other guy. Don't take him down! It was Kuze, shouting through the Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered to apprehend the criminal? Let him go for now! The real purpose somewhere else! They've done this again. Purpose police jargon for perpetrator. Here Kuze is referring to the fact that the principal offender in the case must be elsewhere. So like, we've just been debated twice. 3 times if you count the guy at the start. What had happened to the plan? You've been told that all personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want to catch the perpetrator? Arrest him! Stay on the foreigner's tail. Police team dedicated exclusively to the task of apprehending the criminal. While the kidnapping case is in progress, the roles of the officers involved are carefully designated so every officer is ready to take immediate action as the situation develops. Typically, tried and true veterans MPD officers are put in charge of teams for breaking into buildings and apprehending the suspect. I mean, yeah, also people shouldn't step on milk cartons if they're like in music videos for Blur songs also. Forensics team, get back on the cross-referencing photos. Team deployed by the MPD. I'm stumbling through that acronym every time to handle the actual tests and techniques of on-screen scene investigation, such as collecting and comparing fingerprints and analysing photos of suspects. It's like Metro Police Department, I think. Even if this foreigner was only an underling hired for one task, the police had now tipped their hand that they'd been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, a girl's life might be at stake. Kano recalled another maxim from his Dick diary. Dick Dictum number 12. Always assume the worst case scenario. If Kuze had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. Are you gonna say that every time it comes up? But if the crook had planned a way to break through the police dragnet and escape with a ransom, and he had seen it... I mean, what this game needs is a Dick Gumshoe. Was this the right call here? Should he take this guy down or back off after all? I mean, I want to see like the exciting option, obviously. Letting the perp escape now was too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. A man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. Eep! Someone's taken Hitomi! Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawk immediately. Hey, I did it! Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meijidori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must be waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? So they had like 12 detectives watching the scene, and now none of them were watching Hitomi. Kano saw that the road was forked up ahead. The man with the attaché case ran to the left. Everything you own in an attaché case to the left. If the man who'd taken Hitomi was headed toward Meijidori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways off to the right. Making a snap judgment, Kano told the detective behind him to follow the catch snacer. Catch snacer. Then turned and headed down the nearest alley. How did I say that? After darting through the side streets, he spotted the different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. Maybe this guy is one of the perspectives, and then he's going to find the next one. A man was dressed in black, just like the guy who'd grabbed the ransom money. Kuze's right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded down around the corner and stopped short. The man in black was standing there, pointing the gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Oh shit! Kano felt hot all over, as if he were on fire. All except for his cheek pressed against the asphalt and the palms of his hand, they felt so cold. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch his killer as his killer turned and walked away. I mean, this sounds pretty on par for a choose your own adventure, I guess. Hint: don't get shot by a foreigner. By trying to find the man who'd taken Hitomi, Kano ran into a different criminal, and unfortunately for him, he got shot. If the criminal hadn't been able to get near Hitomi, she probably wouldn't have been able to be taken. How about you have the choice to talk to Hitomi instead at 10:35? Was that a choice, or is that someone else? Maybe Shibuya is rife with criminals. So I believe I had a choice here. I'm curious what the timeline's going to look like when I pick more options. Like, is it going to make this Virtue's Last Reward like pyramid structure of chaos? What was the right call here? Should he take the guy down or back off after all? Kuze's instructions had been cleared. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction that the foreigner had fled. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face, but if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He just ceased his pursuit when Kuze's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear. I hope that's not like someone else just gets killed instead of Kano. It has to happen. Eep! Someone's taken Hitomi! Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squalling immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meijidori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped. Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off. I'd love it also if there's like a skip text like Virtue's Last Reward where I don't have to see the text I've literally read word for word before. Although maybe it's okay in this. Maybe it's not too much. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano had hurried to search for the man who'd taken his home. Wait, did I pick the same option again? Am I dumb? If he was heading toward Meijidori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways nearby. After darting for the side streets, he spotted... I picked the same option again, didn't I? The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who grabbed the ransom money. Kuzo's right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. Wait, something was amiss. Tommy wasn't with him. Yeah, we've already read this. The man in black was just standing there pointing a gun at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Yep. So is that like... Wait, am I dumb or did I really like... Are they both the same or did I really just... No, I definitely didn't pick the same thing because it said something different at the start. I'm curious if this is ending 3 or ending 4 or something. Because it's like the same thing but it was a different part. Yeah, it's the same thing. So that means there are doubled up endings. Well, it seems to me the logical choice is to go back to Ushi's timeline. Oh, let me see the controls there. Oh, that's just the time trap controls. I kind of also want to approach the girl on his timeline just to see if like he has his own bad ending or something. It'll probably be the same scene though. We'll just wait till the choice comes up. Okay. Springing alongside him was a young man in a suit. Then, seemingly from everywhere, a whole bunch of other guys burst into motion. First one. Then another. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Over a dozen now. What the heck? Clearly something big was going down. Were they after the attaché case? Within moments, Archie lost sight of them through the crowd. With that many people chasing him, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about that girl? As she turned back around, the girl was still there. She was staring in the direction of the man who'd taken the case, had gone, a worried expression on her face. And she couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe you should talk to her and ask what was going on. That sounds like the same sort of thing, but it may be different. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on location. It would probably be a mistake to intrude. Now, the way I see it, I feel like this top option is like going to change the timeline for Kano, and this B option is like making the same thing happen. So I'm going to try B first. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on location, or a visual novel on location. It would probably be a mistake to intrude. Yeah, I bet that's what it is. Some TV show about a kidnapping, and the girl has to make a ransom handoff. And there's probably some actor lurking around here playing a suave, handsome detective. Archie gave a chuckle and turned away. A serving breeze blew by as wispy clouds drifted over here. Ed, they picked a nice day for a shoot. Smiling inwardly, he resumed his trash-picking mission, wondering what other surprises the day would hold. I also wonder if this is a bad end, like what on earth goes wrong for him. Did he just get I think that was Kano getting shot. A few minutes later, he heard a loud bang and scrambled went into an uproar. Huh? Someone blew a tire? People were running from all directions to see what had made the sound. Oh, maybe they're shooting an action scene now. Archie was a tad bit curious, but he strolled away from the scramble without looking back. Maybe he'd head to Yotsuya today and stretch his legs a bit. A neighbourhood in the Shinjuku ward of the southeastern part of Tokyo, located approximately 4 kilometers northeast of Shibuya Station. While the numbers 4 to 8 in Japanese can be read as pronounced the same as the syllables for the name Shibuya, they can also be pronounced like the syllables for Yotsuya. Additionally, April 28th is both Shibuya Day and Yotsuya Day, along with Seniors Day. Japanese is weird. It was best not to get distracted. There was trash that needed collecting. But I guess that's why it's called 428. Oh. Your future is garbage. Archie decided to go collecting trash because he decided the commotion in the scramble was just a TV shoot in progress. He'll probably have a pretty uneventful day, which is all well and good for him, but the girl was actually in danger, and he'd have discovered if he'd investigated further. He missed his chance to help her out. Maybe go back and making a different choice. Yeah, I thought that was what would happen. How about before I continue then, I will go into the bland ending here. I'm curious, like, what happens, like, do I have to, like, fix it up afterwards? No, sorry, it's here. Like, I have to set everyone's timelines in order for the story to progress. I'll find out, I guess. So I'm going to try to abduct, Hitomi before actually, which was a bad thing, and then I'll later abduct Hitomi, which is a good thing, or something like that. Now, what kind of person makes a young lady lug around something heavy like that? I actually figured he'd offer it to carry it for her. The girl kept shifting her grip. It was clearly a strain for her to keep holding the case, but she didn't set it down. Whatever was inside, it had to be something pretty important. Archie made his way over there, bristling inwardly at whoever had left her waiting like this. I know, right? If I were you, I'd bust the head of the punk that's keeping you waiting. Huh? That thing looks heavy. Let me carry it for you. The girl stared back at Archie with wide eyes but said nothing. Doesn't she know, like, I'm part of the trash cleanup crew? Really, I'm happy to help. I'm not gonna steal it or anything. His tone was hurried, and he impulsively reached for the attaché case. An instant later, a group of men descended on him from all sides. Whoa, hey, what the hell? For an instant, Archie froze, unable to process what was happening. Yeah, it's true. He tried to run, but the men shoved him unceremoniously to the ground and held him there. They were shouting something or other, but he couldn't make out their words. The more he tried to struggle, the harder they held him down. What the hell is this? You can tell us that down at the precinct. The man in the suit knelt alongside him, flashing a police badge. Badge identifies the bearer as a member of Japanese law enforcement. The old-style badge case included a small notebook for the bearer to write in, but the modern version is modelled after that used by the FBI, where the badge case contains only the badge itself. I'm living for all these just intense scenes. What? You're arresting me? The heck did I even do? Instead of answering, they shoved Archie into the backseat of a patrol car. He gazed dejectedly out of a window. Wait, useless. I mean, all I've seen is the trailer, and I tried not to try to notice anything particular, except I did notice the word bioterrorism, which I'm very curious about. He could still see the girl. She didn't have the case anymore. Now she was talking to the man with the cane. Was he the person she'd be waiting for? Should you smell the flowers or not? That's a reference to a game that no one else has played here. Was he the person she'd be waiting for? A moment later, the car turned the corner and two of them slipped out of view. Archie slumped back into the seat, sulking and silent. Is it going to just end here or not? Several hours passed. After a bunch of pointless questioning, the police finally determined he was innocent and his father came to pick him up. For a long while, Archie just stared intently out of the window of the car. Finally, his father caught his attention. The old man seemed to be having a surprisingly good mood despite having to collect his son from the jailhouse. Archie, there's something I want to talk to you about. If it's about me taking over the shop, now is not the time, okay? No, it's not about that. Look, let's just get home first. Sure, don't feel like going out today anyway. But now I'm curious, what do you want to talk about? I got some good news, I think you'll be pleased. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Don't tell me you're getting remarried or something. Dad, I really don't like the sound of that. And so began a very long conversation. I was gonna say something joking like stuck in a conversation with Dad. Actually was just trying to be nice, but when he tried to take the attaché case, he walked right into the middle of a police stakeout. His heart was in the right place, but timing was a bit off. Maybe he should have finished dealing with the garbage first and watch how the situation played out. go back to Archie's 10:30 and try making a different decision. Is there gonna be like, can I see like a list of the endings I've gotten, or not? Wait, if I go back, wait. What happens if I go back? I mean, I didn't see a point of the screen if there's a time chart, but maybe I'm wrong. Well. Oh yeah, I do have to fix it, okay. That makes sense. I press B again. I guess they're trying not to overload you with stuff. Alright, I'm just gonna skip it as fast as I can. We've already read this. Yeah, the guy's behind him though. They look like characters in some sort of fighting game or something. Like a selection screen. I can't think of what game I'm thinking of, but I've seen something like that where they like animated. Or maybe I'm just thinking of like something that's like real and like based on video games, something like Scott Pilgrim or the music video to Broken Beaks by Bomb Funk MCs. Let me see. Oh, hold A to speed up. Yep. Does it work? Alright, anyway, I'm here anyway. Oh, really? Let me see. This is the list of the bad endings. Here you can check for hints as to why the things ended as badly as they did. The thing that's bugging me is that it's done with images, and like it just reminds me of the third Zero Escape game, which has it has two timelines. It has one with images and one that's a normal flowchart, and the flowchart is just the only one that you'd use because the one with images is just way too. It just looks dumb. Okay. Archie turned back around. The girl was still there. She was staring in the direction that the man who had taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. Right. And now we can progress. But there are actually achievements for getting the bad endings, so I'm doing it on purpose. I'm being bad on purpose. Archie couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe he should talk to her and ask what was going on. But just as he was making up his mind, a middle-aged man in a ratty business suit shuffled awkwardly over to her first. Was there something wrong with one of his legs? He was using a cane to walk. Then one of his hands slipped into his jacket pocket. Archie could scarcely believe his eyes. Wait, is that a middle-aged man who kidnapped her? Is that the same guy with the gun? A revolver. It's a Beatles album. Colt Detective Special. A .38 caliber revolver introduced in 1927 by Colt's Manufacturing Company. A classic example of a snub-nosed revolver. As the name implies, the weapon is frequently carried by detectives, narcotics officers and the like for special defense. It's called a Colt Detective Special because it's very good at killing Colts. I mean, killing detectives, I'm pretty sure. Suddenly, a young man came running through the crowd. Seeing him, the man with the cane turned on his heels and vanished in the scramble. Something big was going down. What is all this? The young man was closing in on the girl, his expression grim. That guy's up to no good. Archie sprang into motion. Hey-ya! I wonder if the two, like, they'll ever get to know each other properly, or they'll just be, like, completely, random people in their own, like, stories. Oh, who's beeped me? Of course. Hang on. Oh, yeah, okay. The guy went down, but recovered surprisingly fast, spinning back to his feet to grapple with Archie.
What the hell is your problem?
What the hell is your problem, man? Archie snapped. I did them backwards. The two stood staring at each other down as the crowd swirled around them.
Let go of me. You let go of me first. After you let go of me, sure. You first, pal. Don't you call me pal, man. Don't you call me man, pal.
Neither man was willing to yield. That's a South Park bit. The crowd had parted to avoid the scuffle. Passers-by were staring from all sides. Well, crap. Archie got a sudden, sinking feeling. What the hell am I even doing? Jumping in over my head as usual. His anger melted away. He loosened his grip. Without further argument, the other man let go of Archie's jacket. Turning quickly away, the stranger hurried over to the statue of Hachiko, where he dropped to his knees, dejected. The girl who'd been standing there was nowhere to be seen. Maybe this was the guy she'd been waiting on. The guy was clearly upset and that she was missing. Archie actually felt kind of bad for him. He decided it would be wise to leave while the guy's attention was elsewhere. Phew. He hurried back along the road to his house. The wind had gone out of his sails and he didn't feel much like cleaning trash anymore.
Oh well, guess I'll read some manga and go to bed.
Better play it safe before the day got any worse. Is this still a bad ending or something? Yep. But maybe now, like, Kano's story will be different. Archie's interference with the young man, it was Kano, disrupted the detective's sting. If Archie hadn't acted on impulse when he saw Kano headed for Hitomi, things might have gone differently. But how can you make sure Kano doesn't return to the scramble and startle Archie? The key lies further along in Kano's story. Wait, what? Have they changed what Dan's game looks like, or is that just on the friggin' on OBS's Twitch chat? Because that looks, his hat looks weird to me. Like Dan's game at Dan's game right now. So can I just go back to Kano's and it'll all just work out? No, there's no white outline. It's just its hat looks like a black, and it's usually like a dark blue, I think. So I'm guessing, like, maybe, you know, this is weird because Kano has no good ending here. I'm just going to swap it over to this one. Also, this holding down A doesn't seem especially fast, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but I don't know, it just looks really weird to me. Let me double check those controls. I don't know, I'm not saying anything else. Oh. Is it? Press up to go back and read sections you've already played through, to scroll ahead for text you've already read. Press down. When rewinding and advancing like this, a ding will appear in the top. Yep, press A. It's not working. Down isn't working. Wait a minute, is it different because of... Oh shit, is it different because of the other one? I'll just head it back up then, let me just check. The man darted in there. Yep, that's the same. You notice trash pile. At first they appeared to be a young couple. Then, looking more closely, he realized the girl was Hitomi. Mr. Kuze, I've located Hitomi Osawa. The couple took off running, the rough-looking guy dragging Hitomi by the hand. She's with a man in his 20s. It looks like he's being led away against her will. Clarify, please, Kuze demanded. What's going on? I'm not sure. Was this guy a member of some criminal group? It looked like the two were running away from something. Alright, we'll let you handle the foreigner. You go after Hitomi. Got it. Kano sprang into action. Stop right there! I misinterpreted what happened in his story, I think. Anyway, the young man glanced back at Kano. Rather than stopping, he picked up speed, continuing to drag Hitomi along with her. She didn't seem quite able to keep up. Kano knew he could catch them. He tried to close the distance in a sprint. After a short distance, the young man stopped, realizing he couldn't outrun his pursuer. Shielding Hitomi behind him, he glowered at Kano. Why did you run off? Kano demanded. Because you were chasing us! Blatant lie. People didn't just bolt like that without good reason. A young tough started edging away, keeping Hitomi behind him. Kano followed. Look, just let the girl go. The guy glanced back at Hitomi. She shook her head, fearfully. Maybe this troublemaker had warned her to keep her mouth shut. You've got this, Kano. Just don't let them out of your sight. Gah! A sudden blow to the top of his head had him staggered. His eyes spun around as he reeled with vertigo. There was a flapping sound, and a vague black shape wheeled above him. Was that a crow? It was the last thing Kano saw before his vision went dark. What the hell? Can these people go 5 minutes without a bad ending? Literally. In the midst of chasing the man who snatched the attaché case, Kano happened across Hitomi and Archie. While confronting them, he suffered a blow to the head and was knocked out cold, but Archie only came this way because he thought it was the quickest way to escape with Hitomi. If he'd gone for the police box instead, things might have gone differently. The key is what Archie does at 10:35. But is that the dick dictum? Or another dick dictum? Hang on. What Archie does at 10:35? Wait, can I like... I feel like I have to approach her. I'm wondering, if I approach her, does it like extend... Oh, I mean, does it retract everything I've unlocked about Kano's ending? Wait, can I? I thought... Did I not do both of his? Oh wait, this is 10:35 also. I think therein lies the confusion. Wait. I mean, that's a dead end, I think. Actually, couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe you should talk to her and ask what was going on. Just as he was making up his mind, middle-aged man... Wait. I've already read this. I mean, I'm sure I'll get the hang of it eventually. I'm just a bit confused at the moment. There's something wrong with one of his legs. He was using cane to... Why is it doing that? Then one of his hands slipped into... I mean, it's just doing this. Oh. I think I get it now. Sorry. I was thinking it was like showing the text a line of the line, but now I see it's just showing you what line you're going to. A revolver. With a single fluid motion, the man lifted the gun and pointed it at the girl's direction. He was aiming right for her head. Well, actually, it looks like he's aiming for her neck. Huh? The girl had noticed the man with the cane now. Seeing the gun pointed right at her, she froze in fear. Archie didn't hesitate. Breaking to a full run, he tackled the gunman with all his might. Caught off guard, the man sprawled to the pavement. But the would-be assassin kept hold of his weapon and quickly scrabbled back to his feet. Archie knew he had to act fast. He grabbed the ashen-faced girl by the arm and attempted to drag her away. "This way!" he shouted. She just stared at him, uncomprehendingly, trembling like a startled animal. "Come on, run!" Finally the girl snapped out of her daze and gave a fearful nod. I think they said that the police box was the one that went wrong. I mean, let's find out. The police box, let's go! Still pulling the girl by the hand, Archie headed for the police box outside the train station. But it was empty. There were always policemen staffing these things. Why did they have to be unmanned now? Archie flashed a worried glance behind him and saw an assassin in pursuit like a man possessed. Yikes, this is not good. There was nothing he could do but run. With the frightened girl in tow, Archie ran beneath the JR Yamanote Line railway paths. Railway loop line that services the Tokyo metropolis. Typically, the morning rush is quite intense. The stretch from Ueno Station to Okachimimachi Station, sometimes crowded as high as 216% capacity, roughly 300 people riding in a space designed for 143 passengers. Unrelated to the Yamate Line subway that operates in the edge city of Kobe. Isn't the Yamate Line? I swear I know that from Soda. Don't worry, just trust me, he told her. But first... They sped past a convenience store where an employee was cleaning up the sidewalk. I hope that guy's an actor. Here, take this, will you? Archie tossed over a bag of trash. Huh? Wait, what? This way! They slipped through the crowd and into a nearby back alley. But this way's a dead end, the girl said breathlessly. Like I said, just trust me. Stopping abruptly, Archie kicked down a wooden plank, covering the gap between the two buildings, clearing a space between a person that could fit through. See, we can get away through here. In you go. But the girl just stood there, looking terrified. What's the matter? Archie asked. Come on, we gotta hurry. But I... She looked at him as if he too was about to pull a gun on her. He could hardly blame her. After all, he was just some random guy who had turned up out of nowhere. But this was no time for dawdling. The man with the cane appeared at the end of the alley. If they just stood there, he was going to catch them. Okay, sweetheart, hear me out, he said in a rush. The man's name's Achiendo. I live in the neighborhood, and I'm not the kind to stand idly by when a girl is being chased by some killer. So please just trust me, and I'll do my best to keep you safe. He hoped the look on his eyes could convince her he was being on the level. After a painfully long moment, the girl nodded her acceptance. Phew. Right, let's start with this. They had paused beside an enormous stack of beverage crates. With a quick shove, Archie had knocked the whole pile down, sending it cascading across their pursuer's path. Now that was a close call. The man with the cane was floundering, struggling to get past the fallen crates. My bad, man, Archie called out. Mind cleaning up for me? The man scowled back at them and fumbled for his gun. Archie flashed him a wave goodbye, then slipped away between the buildings with the girl. Hurrying down a narrow alley, they emerged onto a side street lined with dive bars and clubs. They were just crates, weren't they? Assuming the man with the cane hadn't given up, he would probably lie in wait on the path back to the main road. Archie decided their best bet was to try, stay inconspicuous rather than risk getting caught on the move. Guess we can lie down low here for a bit, he said. He led the girl to the entrance of a tiny old hostess club. She followed him reluctantly. Archie flicked the switch inside the front door and a chintzy chandelier glowed to life. He sat the girl down on the small sofa beside the counter. She gave him a worried look. Archie felt a pang of embarrassment as he realized what must have been thinking. Oh no, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not going to try any funny business. What if those two guys show up? Someone I know used to run this place. I'm not in the business anymore. I figure we're safe here. The girl chuckled at his evident discomfort. Alright then, she said. So, we good? We're good. Okay, well, good. Archie made a vague attempt to straighten his disheveled clothes. So, how about some introductions? I'm Archie Endo, like I said earlier. Yeah, see, I'm Australian, so I had to say someone he used to know. You can just call me Archie. I'm Hitomi Hirosawa. You can call me Hitomi, I guess. With each new word out of Hitomi's mouth, Archie felt his heart sing. She was charming, personable. Just about everything about her was captivating. Archie had never met another girl like her. Archie. What? Is something the matter? You were spacing out there for a bit. Archie shook his head to dispel his daze. Damn it, this is no time to get all starry-eyed. Needed to think of some way to keep her safe from the guy who was after her. Look, can you tell me what the heck is going on? Please? I need to know if I'm going to help you. Right, okay. I'm not really sure where to begin. Hitomi looked down, lost in thought. Apparently, hers was a long story. Alright, she said, at last. I guess I'm going to explain things as they happened. Wait, hold up. Can you keep it as simple as you can? I mean, I'm not really the sharpest tool in the shed. Alright, I'll put a finger and a thumb in the shape of an L on my forehead. Complicated explanations aren't really my strong suit. Okay, Hitomi shuffled. I'll try my best. She got comfortable and then started the story. Seriously, like, whenever you hear the phrase, ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, and it's not, it's All Star by Smash Mouth. So, last night, somebody abducted my sister. The kidnapper demanded that I make a ransom handoff personally. He told me to stand by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya at 10 o'clock in the morning to make the exchange. So I did, and this man came by and took the attaché case of the body. Oh shit, oh, did they just skip text? I'm not okay with that. And then afterwards, the other guy with the cane turned up and pointed his gun at me, and maybe I'm just dumb and I pressed A by mistake. Well, I'm sorry, hold up a sec. Archie had suddenly lost the thread of the conversation. It should just do it on purpose. At times like this, she can press up to go, yep, you can press down, yep. Could you say that again? Just a bit like simpler? Huh? I'm sure. I'm just having trouble following us all! What an anime expression. I mean, is this the plot to some movie or soap opera? No, that's not. Or some kind of hidden camera show? Well, kind of, but not. But, yeah. This is real. This really happened. The look into Tommy's eyes were dead serious. She's got to be telling the truth. What would be the point of lying? And he'd seen the attaché case and the gunman himself. How much was the ransom, if you don't mind me asking? Wait, back up. Did I misread that? Like ages ago? Oh, I'm not in business anymore. Okay. Tommy hesitated. 50 million yen, she said after a moment, which translates to 1 Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure. Archie gave a whistle of amazement. The detectives told me it was a typical amount for a kidnapper to ask for. It's plenty, that's for sure. I guess there's some good money in that sort of thing. As soon as the words were out, he realized his blunder. Ah, sorry, I shouldn't have put it that way, he fidgeted awkwardly, and Hitomi looked away. I'm an idiot, but okay. I think I get this kidnapping thing. So I'm guessing those guys who chased the guys who took the ransom were undercover cops? He replayed the scene in his head. But then, the kidnapper took the attaché case and ran, right? So if you're empty-handed, well, why'd that guy with the cane come after you? I'm honestly not sure. I just... Hitomi's words trailed off. This was clearly difficult for her to talk about. Anyway, we should probably get you back to the police as soon as we... No, we can't do that. Hitomi's tone was resolute. I can't take this to the police. Why not? She waited for an answer, but none came. After a long and awkward silence, she stood up from her seat. It seems like it's gone for much more than 5 minutes also. I really appreciate the help, but I should go now. She gave Archie a deep bow. No, hold on, what do you mean go? Go where? He hurried to intervene as she headed for the door. I don't want to cause you any more trouble. I'll figure the rest out on my own, somehow. Hey, I said hold on. Don't be a guy who's not letting a woman leave a building. It's kind of wrong. Hitomi ignored him and opened the door, and her argument came to an abrupt halt. Well, this is going well. Standing there was a man with a cane, his revolver in his hand. This is also very unsettling to look at. I'm just going to sit a little to the side. Oh shit. Wait, how is this different to the previous one? Oh, I guess... Wait, Archie Endo's 10 PM story and 10 AM story ends here. However, Shinya Kano still has more to do. Read along further in Kano's story. Yeah, oh, okay, that is all of 10 AM. I didn't realize also there's a time gap there. So I believe now Kano should be able to do something here. I can see now how it would be quite difficult to uncover all the bad endings, especially given that there's more than 2 characters. What? Sorry, I should have been reading that. Yeah, so this is me trying to catch the perp. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. Just where the heck was this guy headed? Also, I'm glad I don't have to do Usher's voice for a while. That's exhausting. Halfway across the bridge, the man stopped abruptly. Cautious, Kano stopped as well. Height, roughly 190 centimeters. Whoa, he's tall. Age, 30 centimeters. 30s. Hair, dark brown. Clothing, all black. A moment later, the man flashed a triumphant sneer and held up the attaché case. But he's taller than me, and that's the gold standard. Before Kano could even yell stop, it was already too late. The man threw the attaché case down the roadway below and initiated the closing sequence of lock, stock and 2 smoking barrels. No! Panicking, Kano peered over the railing. A man on the motor, oh shit, was waiting beneath the bridge. A bit had. Kano bit his lip hard. Damn it! Kano sprinted back down the bridge, hearing the bike's engine roar to life. He had to make it in time. Descending the stairs, 4 at a time, he leapt towards the roadway, but the bike sped out of reach and roared in the direction of the Yoyogi, leaving Kano in its dust, unless he stuck by her. Looking back at the overpass, he saw the man who'd thrown the attaché case running away. He handed the money off to someone else. He's currently on a motorcycle, headed towards the Yoyogi. His report to Kuze complete, Kano slumped down in dismay. The cops had played right into the criminals' hands. None of the crooks were getting away, and people's lives were in danger. Was there any greater failure for a policeman? Staring off into the distance where the man who'd thrown the case had disappeared, Kano gritted his teeth. There's like a lot of people involved. This is Steins Gate and the you know, the CRT all over again. You finished reading both the character stories for the hour of 10 AM. In 428, you'll make your way through all the protagonists' stories in parallel like this. Once everyone has reached the end of a given hour, the next hour can begin.
Oh, I guess so. We've only got 2 characters so far because the other characters start later in the day. And this was just the prologue. Seems. So I wasn't going to comment on it there, but yes, I did know that what's it called? There's like someone in a mascot uniform. Hey, I got an achievement too. Now I have to finish the game. This is the end of the tutorial for this part of the story. I can't believe I've already... I can never remember it from Okami, the dragon's name. You can reread the previous tutorial messages via the main menu. There's a lot of important info in there, so reread it closely. Now 4:28 has reached the 11 AM time block. You have 5 protagonists available. Whose story will you read first? It's like yeah, it's on the trailer, but it's not on the Steam icon. Is that a yellow Teletubby with just a cat head on it? What is it? Dipsy, I think is the yellow one. Yeah. Or is it Lala? It's one of the two. Wait, is there any impact within the same time block is indicated by the red circle on the chart. Decisions made in one time block do not impact storylines in different hours. If you get stuck, make sure to check decisions and jump points to the current time. Oh, okay, so it's basically like a checkpoint. I don't know who to start with though. Because I watched it when I was a kid. I know for certain that Tinky Winky's the purple one and Poe's the red one, but the two I've got them mixed up. Like, it's really tempting to say, hey, let's go with the silly character first, but maybe I should work up to that and go for this guy. The Super Cub 90 raced down Route 246 towards Shibuya. A motorcycle produced by Honda with an 85cc engine replacement, a common sight around town, often used by newspapers and postal delivery workers. Many owners are big enthusiasts, sometimes even swapping out parts such as handlebars or mufflers and giving their body a repaint, resulting in fashionable bikes that don't even look like Super Cubs in the first glance. The speedometer remained at a steady 60 km per hour. Pumping the gas harder was no use. This was as fast as the bike would go. Minoru Kawa shouted as he sped along. Damn it, I am not letting you die! He jerked the handlebars and blew past the truck on the inside. The driver scowled at him as he shot by. You maniac, you trying to get yourself killed? Just the opposite, Minoru Kawa shouted. I'm saving lives! The stoplight had turned red, cutting off the intersection. Yes, but this is when you're going to realise that I do not have as many voices as I could possibly have, unless I make them very, like, Hagakure voice. Oh, come on! He had no choice but to slam on the brakes, but his agitation pulled over him as he waited for the signal to change again. How long's this thing gonna stay red? Hurry up already! Hagakure voice, you know! He brought the bike right up to the very edge of the line. Maybe I need to work on that off stream before I unveil it. Keeping the engine revved like a dragster, ready to peel out. Not in time is not in my dictionary! The light turned red.
Then Minorikawa. I also need to get used to reading that name. Minorikawa's own light had turned green at last. He hit the accelerator as hard as he could. His engine died with a sputter. Huh? Oh, come on! What the hell? I mean, red light, green light. Car's horns blared angrily behind him. In a fury, he pulled his bike over to the side of the road. No matter what he did, the engine refused to turn over. Was it a problem with the spark plug, or maybe the battery? Whatever it was, he didn't have time to figure it out now. With tears in his eyes, he left the bike, his companion of 10 years, abandoned on the roadside. He was about to break into a run when he saw a taxi dead ahead, letting out a passenger. He hurried to hop into the cab. Just head for Shibuya Station. I'll let you know exactly when once we're closer. The taxi driver nodded coolly.
Of course, sir.
10 minutes! I need you to get me there in 10 minutes! The driver grimaced.
I'm afraid getting there in 10 minutes is a bit...
15 then!
So that's still...
Look, that's all the time I can afford. Assuming traffic conditions cooperate, sir, then maybe... I can't make any promises. Minorikawa looked at the driver's ID photo above the fare meter. His name was Hachiro Kimizuka. He was a middle-aged fellow, looked a little rough around the edges. Mr. Kumazawa. I didn't even try to get that close. Mr. Kimizuka, I chose you for this. You can do it.
Chose me? Sir, I'm pretty certain we met by chance.
Okay, sir. Suppose you could phrase it like that way. Anyway, can we get going?
Right.
Kimizuka said with a faint sigh.
I'll see what I can do.
The taxi pulled away with a decent clip. It seems strange that they're showing us the taxi driver's name. Like, is he going to matter at some point? Or have I forgotten and he's actually he's the other character? I don't think he is. He looked more dorky than that. Minorikawa's frantic journey had started 20 minutes earlier. He'd been at home, working on an interview piece. He clucked his tongue in annoyance as the ringing phone broke his train of thought. Why did someone always call right when words were flowing? If he didn't keep getting interrupted, he could probably wrap this piece up in no time. Be quiet! He pointed at his telephone as he yelled, I'm writing here! But his shouting did nothing to silence the ringing. He didn't have much choice but to pick it up. Minorikawa speaking. There was no response. Hello? He hesitated, ready to hang up. Was this a prank call? It's me! It's Toyama. It was Teru Toyama, the president of Heaven Publishing. A publishing company that puts out both hard-hitting non-fiction books and tabloid-style scandal rags. The invincible journalist, panned by company president Toyama himself, was a candidate for the Japan Non-Fiction Prize. Oh, what do you want? If this is about work, I'm already booked pretty full. He'd taken work from Heaven Publishing on several occasions, but the pay was hardly competitive. Lately, he'd been turning him down a lot, so he hadn't heard from Toyama in a while. No, this isn't work-related. Then, what do you want? I'm kind of pressed for the time being. Working on some copy. Narikawa was in no mood to beat around the bush. It seemed every conversation he had with Toyama went like this. Ah, yeah, busy. That's good. Busy's good when you're a freelancer. Toyama sounded unusually sympathetic. Minorikawa found it off-putting. I hear sales have been good on your end, he said cautiously. With this month's 4-Star General Gossip and all. 4-Star General Gossip is a monthly magazine, Heaven Publishing's flagship publication. Sorry. A magazine focusing on the private lives of celebrities and politicians. Most of the articles found in its pages are random nonsense, but 1 out of every 100 or so contains actual major scoop, making it a difficult outlet to ignore. It's the Hagakure gossip. 10% of the time, it's right every time. It had a small circulation, and for the most part flew under the radar, but once in a while they'd land a big scoop and sell like crazy. I mean, like, to be fair, it's 4-Star General and not the ultimate clairvoyant.
this month's edition had come with a free scratch card, a gimmick that had moved 100,000 copies of these. 5 winning symbols in a row wins 100,000 yen, was it? Norikawa asks. A weak, moist sound came through the receiver. Baffled, Minorikawa listens more closely. He came again, then again. It kind of sounded like a sobbing. Mr. Toyama, are you sure? There was another soft sob, and then another. What's going on? Where are you? Nikawa asked. At the office, Toyama managed. He let another mewling whimper. What's the matter? It's nothing. Well, it's gotta be something. Come on, what is it? Toyama gave no reply. Mr. Toyama, you still there? Silence. What is it? What happened? Look, doesn't tell me anything. What the hell's going on? Toyama squealed out a drawn-out whine. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm hanging up now. Minorikawa was about to break the connection when he heard Toyama murmur. The only thing I can do now is die. Taxi lurched to a sudden stop as the driver slammed on the brakes. Is that Kano? Minorikawa pitched forward, his face smacking against the back of the seat in front of him. Kimizuki stuck his head out the window. Careful, buddy, he shouted at someone in the street ahead. You're gonna get us killed. Yourself killed. It is! Minorikawa blinked at the stars from his eyes and saw a man moving alongside the cab. The guy grabbed onto the handle of his back door. Please, I need you to let me have this cab. No way, Minorikawa snapped. Just who did this guy think he was? Please, I'm begging you here. Look, I'm in a hurry, pal. Get on your own cab. I know how ridiculous this must sound, but please, this is really, really urgent. Just say you're a cop. Urgent? Yes, it's a matter of life or death. Please. The guy did look pretty desperate. Look, I'm sorry, pal, but I'm dealing with something urgent here too. Then let me ride with you. I'll pay for the whole fare. My entire future's on the line here. The guy sure was persistent. Maybe he was telling the truth. But Minorikawa had problems of his own. Sorry, buddy. It's life or death on my own end too. I gotta look after me and mine. Right. So, sorry to trouble you. Finally, the guy gave up and shuffled away. Guess it couldn't have been that much of a life-ending crisis after all. Minorikawa checked his wristwatch. Damn it! That just cost us 5 minutes. I'll try and make it for it, sir. The driver called back. The taxi lurched into motion, the engine quickly revving up to speed. Once inside the building, he avoided the elevator in favour of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of 4-Star General Gossip on the 4th floor. When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama! He shouted and banged, and there was no reply. Is he gonna be... like, I'm not gonna say it. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door in. Whoa! The sight as he stepped in the office filled him with horror. Boom, boom, boom. A body has been discovered! Minorikawa clutched the sides of his head. I'm too late. Oh no! If only I'd gotten here a little sooner. Yeah, so like, I mean, in that sequence after the quote-unquote tutorial, literally there was a guy being hanged. Minorikawa rushed to Heaven Publishing as fast as he could, but he didn't get there in time to save Toyama, and sad to say, it was really all Kano's fault. Why does Kano want to taxi so badly? Check his 11:10 timestamp and the situation might become clearer. This is also, for all the people who watched past season 10, this is no, I mean, it wasn't like it was just the thing that showed up on screen during the game. I wasn't looking at any like spoilers. Anyway, this reminds me of the Simpsons season 12 episode Trilogy of Error, aka the one episode past season 10 that people actually say is actually really good. Actually, Random insight. This is all the same colors as the characters from Donkey Kong 64. Like DK is yellow, Diddy Kong is red, Lanky Kong is blue, Chunky Kong is green, and Tiny Kong is purple. This has been very useful information. Okay, I'll keep a note of that for the future. I'm guessing it's like the gold files in Virtue's Last Reward. Let's try Osawa. Wealth, status, honor. None of these mean anything to me. All I want is a peaceful life. What is RBF? To put that worry behind me and stay calm and serene. To be free of worldly concerns. Oh, I should have known. Free at any cost. I don't think I've seen that said for guys, but maybe I'm wrong. A true rhythm pump from the CD player, set up against the study wall. It was the latest hit from Aya Kamiki, a pop songwriting sensation who was blowing up the pop charts. Kenji Osawa reached for the stereo remote on his desktop. He ratcheted the volume up a little louder. I'm surprised they don't use like real pop stars. He looked like the sort of man who'd be more interested in classical music, but in fact he was a huge fan of the girl rock popular with middle schoolers. Closing his eyes, he swayed back and forth in time with the music. My kind of guy. Humming his favourite lyrics under his breath, but his movements faltered. It's no use. Aya's voice usually soothed whatever ailed him, but today she couldn't help him. Today, Osawa was a complete wreck, both in body and mind. Wow, this guy is just me. Mounds of paperwork were scattered across his desktop in his study. All of it about viruses and vaccines. Monka S. It had only been... What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. It had only been a week since he returned from a business trip at his company's branch office in the US, and he was slated to go back in another week's time. There was truly a staggering amount of work he needed to get through while he was home. He picked up one of the papers, glanced at it aimlessly, and then tossed it back onto the desk. Slumping back in his chair, he let out a long deep sigh. He was in no mental state to work right now. A faint knock on the door barely roused him from his torpor. Oh, that's what he means. Oh, so is this in Osu? Director, may I come in? He was his vice director, Amuro Tanaka. Sure, the door. I can't think of a voice for this guy. Sure, the door's open. Tanaka came into the study. I know it's not a great time, but Osawa could barely make out his words. He tapped the remote, lowering the volume of his music, with a sound that sounded awfully like the sticky keys bump thing. Tanaka continued apologetically. A call came from the lab. They're hoping for a response from the email they sent yesterday. I'm sure they don't need it today. Apparently, they do need an answer as soon as possible, so... It did ask them to give you some more time, but... I see, Osawa said wearily. Alright then. Tanaka dipped his head slightly, and then slipped out of the room. So my great trick right now is I just need to remember Kano's voice, I just do my normal voice. Aichi's voice, I tilt my voice to the top right. The last guy, I tilt it up, and this guy, I'm tilting it top left. Like, it's literally like a video game. Osawa contemplated his colleague, as in like I reached to that part of my diaphragm. I don't know how to describe it. It's a feeling. It makes sense to me. Well, Osawa contemplated his colleague. Tanaka was a man he could truly depend on. He has enough of his own work to do. He didn't need to come here today, but he did.
They'd been working in close concert ever since Osawa had gotten back to China. That being said, like I thought I remembered how to do some of my Okami voices, then I realized I absolutely don't. And that's how I was doing them as well. I was just remembering how I distorted my mouth. Without Tanaka's support, there was no way he would be in a mindset to do any work at all right now. Sidling up to his computer, Osawa opened his email program and started answering his work-related messages. He reported those business travel expenses, offered his opinion on capital investments, requested confirmation on current medicinal stockpiles. He worked with bleak detachment. None of this meant anything to him right now. Then a new email appeared in his inbox. The sender was identified simply as A. The subject line read, 1 year ago, South Africa. No problem. I mean, you've already read this before, so I wouldn't expect you to need to be like actively engaging with it. Message body was blank, but there appeared to be multiple images attached. Ordinarily, Osawa would have deleted the message like this immediately, assuming that it contained some kind of virus. The word South Africa drew attention. Could this possibly be related to... He couldn't help but wonder. For a long moment he hovered the cursor over one of his image files. At last, as if spurred on by the upbeat rhythm in his ears, he double-clicked the mouse. I like the idea that the other three guys are just in these massive intense scenes and this guy's just sitting in his computer. What is this? The grainy photograph showed a large room with a dozen or so people laid out in beds. It appeared to be some sort of medicinal ward. Osawa felt a strange flutter in his chest. It's Hinamizawa syndrome. He quickly opened another image. This one showed a close-up of one of the patients in his bed. He looks like Mike Tyson. Large red blotches covered his face. A large volume of blood appeared to be dripping from his ears and nostrils. A cold shudder ran up Osawa's spine. I mean, isn't reactions the whole reason we ever watch people play games they've already played? What the hell? These symptoms. Osawa opened up the remaining image files. Each new picture showed another of the patients. They all appeared to be teetering on the brink of death. There was no doubt about it. These people were infected with Radical 6. I mean, with with UA virus. The UA virus belongs to the family Filoviridae, genus UA-like virus. It is the member of the same family as the Ebola virus and causes UA virus fulminant hemorrhagic... I've never seen that one before. Hemorrhagic fever. It is capable... I mean, this is where we say, like, I was playing through Virtual Disaster Warfare for you, and it's just, like, so much stuff involving, friggin' epidemic. I mean, pandemic, sorry. It is capable of airborne transmission, although an infected individual cannot pass on the infection before symptoms manifest. The US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have assigned the virus to risk group 4, a classification for most dangerous... Hey, I didn't say that, I just said epidemic instead of pandemic, which is the more correct thing to say. Okay. Each new picture showed another of the new patients. They all appeared to be teetering on the brink of death. There was no doubt about it. These people were infected with the UA virus. But how? Questions tumbled through Osawa's mind. His fingers tapped at a quick message. He doubted he'd get a response, but he might as well try. Who are you? Where are those images from? And he waited an hour to get it back because it was an email. And that was the end of his 11 AM story. The UA virus got its name from a Swahili word for flower. Why is it? Oh, there's more. The virus is roughly 90 nanometers to 110 nanometers in diameter and 500 nanometers to 700 nanometers long. I can't remember if that means it can fit in your brain according to either Somnium files. I know that was in the nanometers as well. It is sometimes known as the sickle of death. It possesses a viral envelope, the surface of which is coated with spike-shaped protein protuberances. Yes, I know what a nanometer is. Supposedly, this was based on the fact that the propagated form of the virus resembled the petals of a flower. Despite the flowery name, however, the disease was anything but pretty. Yue didn't just mean flower, it also meant to kill. And as the name suggested, the virus had the mortality rate of 100% in those it managed to infect. Because most details regarding the UA virus have been suppressed, cases of UA infection are largely unknown to the world at large. Because all patients known to have been infected with the disease died within the short time frame, the mortality rate is given as 100%. The incidence of known cases grows, the number may drop to below 100%, but the mortality rate will likely remain extraordinarily high. It's just like another thing in Zero Time to Live, there's a thing with 100% death rate. Yes, it's a nice flower. Moreover, there was a very short incubation period between infection, the onset of symptoms, and death. Inhaled virus particles can spread from the lungs to the lymph nodes, and from there disperse throughout the body. The virus propagates in several places, including liver cells and macrophages, a component of the immune system, and destroy the endothelial cells within blood vessels. Upon reaching the brain, it forms a neural sludge of body mixed with other bodily fluids. Within roughly 12 hours, bleeding would set in throughout the body, everywhere but the bone and muscles, with lethal results. Due to its incredibly high mortality rate, the disease's very existence has been kept hidden from public knowledge. Alright then, just a moment. I've been talking for so long tonight. Osawa's computer chimed to signify the arrival of a new email. The sender was A. The UK indie rock band from the late 90s to early 2000s, who were very hard to find on Spotify. He hurried to open the message. That was my drink bottle. Once again, the subject line read, 1 year ago, South Africa. Your crimes. Osawa stared at those two words. My crimes? That left him with only further questions. He looks again at the images from the previous email. Is this guy gonna be like... this is like some sort of revenge plot. What makes any of this my crimes? He could see that the patient's bleeding was severe. He estimated that several hours had passed since the onset of the disease. It wouldn't be long before that their lives were cut short. Like, I feel like the further we're going into these character sets, like, the less we know about their backstory, and like, the more we don't know, and thus the more to be revealed. Feel that agony, that suffering, and then to perish, and perish. Am I to blame for that? Another faint knock came at the door. Darling, do you have a moment? It was his wife, the Somnium Files. Yes, come in. Yes, come in. I stepped into the study. The room filled with the scent of a perfume. You know, I means love. Have you reconsidered the whole America thing? She asked. This again. Osawa thought sullenly to himself. Please, he said. Can we not discuss this right now? If not now, then when? You know this isn't a decision to make on your own. He looks like Kojima. On his latest business trip, a major American pharmaceutical firm had attempted to headhunt him, asking him to join them and be among the top researchers in the world. That money and prestige had no interest for him, and he was reluctant to turn his back on Okeshi Pharmaceutical after his many years of service. The pharmaceutical company for which Kenji Osawa works is a major corporation with a solid sales network, both domestically and internationally, and an annual turnover of 1 trillion yen. It holds patents for several medications that are in demand worldwide, and is influential at the Ministry of Health, Labour and Welfare, and of other political institutions. The company employs roughly 7,000 people, including 600 researchers. Or it's like that bit in it's like, wait, Kojima? I mean, it wouldn't be too crazy for him, but that's definitely not him there. It's like, it wouldn't be too crazy for Kojima to show up in a game like this. Nonetheless, he was intrigued by the offer. It would mean the chance to conduct his virus research in a much better funded environment. Taking the job would necessitate locating to the US, though. When he mentioned the possibility of emigrating to Ai, she shot the idea down on the spot. Her opposition was understandable. Ai's father, Suguru Makino, was a member of Okushi Pharmaceuticals' board of directors. At least it's not Creative Pharmaceuticals. No way was he going to let Osawa jump ship to another company. Darling, please. I drew in closer to him. Think about it from my perspective. If you leave for America, what am I supposed to tell my father? He'd gotten so used to it, that grating whine of hers. Have you considered what might happen to Koshi if you leave, dear? We can discuss that once all this is finished. Osawa kept his voice as level as he could. You could remember that you're a director, right? I said. You have responsibilities. Stop thinking for yourself so much. With a sour look, I turned and departed. Well, he had known that moving to America would never be a simple matter, regardless of what his wife thought about it. There was another reason, however, the antiviral agent he had developed at Okoshi. Therapeutic drug that used to treat viral infections in examples include the drugs used against influenza and HIV. These treatments do not eliminate the infection, rather they simply inhibit the development of the disease. There are still many issues with such drugs, including the risk that treated viruses possess or develop a resistance that makes the treatment ineffective. Academic institutions and pharmaceutical companies worldwide devote tremendous research to further advancing the field of antiviral medicine. Well, like, he's seen enough shit, he doesn't need any more. After the UA virus was discovered, infectious disease research facilities worldwide had thrown themselves into a top-secret effort to develop the vaccine. Vaccines function by safely introducing a harmless or attenuated version of a virus or other pathogen into the human body. This triggers the body to produce antibodies against the pathogen, making it difficult for the dangerous version to take hold. And if you think it causes autism, you can go fuck yourself. But Makino had ordered Osawa to work on creating an antiviral agent, not a vaccine. I said what I said. A vaccine immunized the subject in order to prevent infection in the first place. Conversely, an antiviral agent could be used to treat patients already infected. It was a so-called wonder drug for combating the virus itself. Creating such a drug was far easier said than done. Developing the antiviral had been a long and arduous road. Hey, I mean, as an autistic person, I have enemies. Only after years of research had Osawa's team succeeded in identifying a substance that might qualify as an antiviral agent for UI. In theory, it was administered during the virus's initial stages. 100% recovery could be attained. Data also suggested an 80% survival rate for patients treated shortly after the onset of symptoms. There was a fatal flaw with the new antiviral agent. Side effects on the body were unusually potent. If it was administered in amounts beyond a certain threshold, it would be linked to life-threatening complications, and their brain would slow down to 1/6, or the square root of 1/6. For the time being, the research was in an impasse. It had seemed that the drug had been administered in high volume to combat the explosive propagation of the UA virus, but then Osawa had received some fortuitous news. Okoshi Pharmaceuticals and Nanotechnology branch had engineered a cutting-edge device known as the DDS. Technology used in operating extremely small scale. Some nanotech devices are literally regulated on atomic level. The possibilities are ever-expanding in practical fields such as medicine and materials science. The United States is among the world leaders in the push for research and development. Acronym for Drug Delivery System. Such a system administers ultramicroscopic drug capsules to a targeted area of the body. Osawa had jumped in it immediately, and by administering his antiviral agent with the nanotech DDS, he was able to use a smaller amount of the drug to quash the UA virus with precision. Because the DDS can be used to deliver a drug with pinpoint precision, and only when it is needed, it can greatly reduce the side effects of a very potent drug. The DDS developed by Okoshi Pharmaceuticals utilizes advanced high-tech polymers which ensure that the capsules containing the drug are fully broken down and eliminated from the body roughly 1 week after administration. The procedure was a huge success. There was a marked increase in the drug's efficacy. I've never had to say that word out loud. I say it a lot. With the expected decrease of adverse side effects. Pharmaceutical is said to have a positive effect if its use brings about the desired results when treating a medical condition. Many drugs create unwanted or unforeseen adverse effects as well. Given the extreme complexity of most drugs' interactions with the human body, nearly any medicine can have both positive and negative effects. Their effects are being confirmed via animal testing on monkeys, and now the antiviral was ready for the final development stage of clinical trial on humans. Experiments involving drugs and medical techniques tested on animals to confirm their safety before they're used on brains. The 1964 Declaration of Helsinki, which lays out the standards for human experimentation, advocates responsible animal testing, but many animal rights advocates regard such testing as a form of animal cruelty. When a new drug is being prepared for government approval after it has been tested on animals, it must pass tests on humans, clinical trials, that evaluate its safety and suitability. Such tests are frequently conducted on both patients and healthy individuals. In Japan, the development of new drugs is often hindered by insufficient legal infrastructure for conducting clinical trials, resulting in smaller knowledge base and fewer opportunities for testing. But the very existence of this new wonder drug was still a secret. No doubt Okoshi's leadership would be reluctant to see Osawa, the drug's lead researcher, transferred to another company. Still, it wasn't completely out of the realm of possibility. Once the antiviral was out of development, then announced to the public, Osawa would be free and clear. For that reason, he was loath to cause any friction over the drug right now. The anxiety only magnified his concern about the email he'd just received. Osawa called up Tanaka over the intercom. "There's something I want to show you. Could you come here?" He needed a second opinion, and Tanaka could be relied upon. I mean, I'm gonna stop soon. I feel I just want to do the last characters, however long it takes till it interrupts me, then I'll stop. Because it's pretty late, and I also have to do a fairly lengthy Tetris 99 daily. Which I didn't do before the stream because it would take too long. Osawa opened the door the moment Tanaka knocked. He looked around before ushering his vice director in. "What's this about, sir?" "This." Osawa showed him one of the images. Tanaka's face went pale. "It can't be." Tanaka clearly recognized the symptoms of the UA virus. Any idea about what this is about?" Osawa asked. "No, sir. These images were just emailed to me. The subject reads 1 year ago, South Africa. That would put it around the same time as the most recent run of infections, wouldn't it, sir? But that information isn't..." Tanaka trailed off. Osawa nodded. "The thing I don't understand is why these pictures were sent to me." Osawa opened another email from A. The second message says, "I got these pictures for my crimes. I will look into this on my end, sir," Tanaka said. He hesitated uncomfortably. "So, just make sure. Are you asking about what I think you're asking about?" Osawa said. Tanaka gave a slight nod. "Understood," Osawa said. "Don't worry. I won't trouble you." "I appreciate that, sir." Visibly relieved, Tanaka left the study. Osawa brought up a folder marked UA virus on his screen. Within the folder were enlarged images of the virus itself. He double-clicked one of the images. It blew up on the monitor to reveal a passage in intricate detail. A specimen of the UA virus was approximately 100 nanometers in diameter. That's a weird sentence. 10,000 of them in a line would take up barely a millimeter. Wait. Yeah. Quick maths. But a single tiny virion upon entering the human body could become 2,000 in an hour. The speed of multiplication was nothing short of astonishing. Even the Ebola virus had a typical incubation period of 7 days or so before infectees developed symptoms. Virus of the family Filoviridae that causes Ebola hemorrhagic fever currently 5 characterized species known as Thai forest, Sudan, Reston, Zaire, and Bandibigyo. Ebola is widely known for its high mortality rate, 53% in the Sudan form, 88% in the Zaire, but the Reston variety discovered in monkeys that had been brought into the US had displayed no pathogenicity in humans. For influenza, it was 1 or 2. The onset of the OA virus had happened in a mere 12 hours. Osawa viewed the image slideshow of the virus propagation mechanism. It was a fascinating sight no matter how many times he looked at it. Viruses exist to multiply, nothing more. They had no motives, no driving logic, nothing but simple multiplication. To Osawa, that held a certain air of mystery. If viruses had emotions, how would they feel about their lives? He had thrown himself into virus research in search of answers to questions like that, answers that no man could truly know. His development of the antiviral agent had really been nothing more than another job of responsibility. He felt no particular sense of duty to protect people from killer virus. He was just happy for the chance to play around with UA day after day. Okay. Another email arrived in his inbox. The sender, A. The subject line, 1 year ago, South Africa. Again. Osawa read the message.
Do not look away, these are your crimes.
This time, there were 4 images attached. Osawa proceeded to open each one in turn. The first shocked Osawa so much that he felt like he'd been punched in the head. One of the UA patients from earlier images was being injected with something. No, Osawa muttered to himself. It can't be. The second image showed one of the infected, hunched over in pain, vomiting up blood. The symptoms had already manifested. Osawa thought that some degree of life would come back into the patient's eyes. He rushed to open the third image. It showed a morgue, piled high with corpses. The rictus of anguish of the dead faces made them look no longer human. Various fluids seeped from the eyes and nostrils. The lymph nodes were grotesquely swollen. Small organs that function as part of the lymphatic system in mammals. When a foreign substance invades the body, the lymph nodes detects it, prompting the production of white blood cells such as lymphocytes and macrophages to consume the invader. A viral infection sometimes causes the lymph nodes to swell up as a result of increased activity. There were hospital beds stained with massive amounts of blood and gastric fluids. Next came the fourth and final image. It's a man without a head, more corpses, and their chests with various labels. 6 hours pass, 12 hours pass, and 18 hours pass. It looked as if someone was attempting live trials of the antiviral agent. Osawa hadn't considered the antiviral agent ready for release, but that was because the team hadn't conducted clinical trials on humans yet. And there was good reason why such trials hadn't been conducted. There was no way to test the efficacy of the drug without an infected patient. To run a proper clinical test, someone would have to be infected with the UA virus, no matter how effective animal testing had been. If the drug proved ineffective on humans, that person would have been guaranteed a death sentence. It was unthinkable to run trials that involved such a deadly risk. And yet, he looked over the images again and again. Osawa became certain. Without his knowledge, presumably someone from Koshi Pharmaceutical had conducted human testing with the antiviral agent. This time, markers on the fourth image were surely there to mark the time elapsed since the onset of symptoms, a thorough trial that would test the drug's effectiveness in those timeframes. Is this going to be the whole hour? Osawa slammed his fist on the desk in rage. This was nothing short of vile human experimentation in the guise of clinical testing. These people responsible could not be allowed to get away with this. There was only one person Osawa could trust to keep on this under wraps, his boss, Makino. He reached his phone to call Makino. Wait, isn't that the name of the cat? But he stopped short as soon as he picked up the receiver. He knew as he was in no state of mind to have a calm, reasoned conversation right now. Turning the CD player, he put on Aya Kamiki's latest album. This looks like it's a bad end. Leaning back in his chair, he surrendered himself to his soothing tones. Bit by bit, he could feel himself returning to a calmer, emotional state. There had been a time when Osawa hadn't listened to music at all. In fact, he had no interest in the arts in general, music, painting, cinema. It's only due to a simple coincidence that he found Aya Kamiki. His daughter had asked for a CD as a birthday present, so he swung by the store and to pick it up. Since Kamiki's new album had just come out, there was a display for it on the front of the shop. Something about the bright, colourful album packaging had drawn him in. After a time, Usawa could feel himself growing calmer. He took a nice deep breath. I mean, this sounds like it's a bad ending, so let's do it. First, he took a nice deep breath, then he closed his eyes and tried to banish his nerves completely. Inclining his head towards the music, he could feel the melody pervade his body. He could scarcely believe there'd been a time when he hadn't cared about music. Surely something that has had such a strong effect on the body and mind alike also conveyed a deeper meaning. Usawa let out the positive energy flow through him, buoying his spirits. At last, when his mood had sufficiently calmed under music's influence, Usawa reached for the handset. The study door opened, and the stolidly faced man appeared in the doorway. "I beg your pardon, Mr. Usawa. Would you mind coming into the living room for a moment?" The detectives assembled in the living room all wore grave expressions. The room was brimming with tension, and Osawa felt it ramp up even further as he entered.
"What is it?" he asked. "Has something happened?"
The man who'd come to find him had turned to speak, hesitantly at first. "Yes. It turns out that, your other daughter, Hitomi, has been kept— Oh, shit! Oh, here's how he's connected. And that's why there's so much money involved, I guess. That is such a good reveal. Abducted. Usawa's mind whirled. What are you talking about? Maria's the one who's been abducted. No, sir, you don't understand. I'm saying that Hitomi has also been abducted, in addition to Maria. Don't be ridiculous. The night before, his daughter Maria gets kidnapped, and the morning his daughter Hitomi gets carried off when she goes to deliver the ransom. He'd never heard of anything more outrageous in his life. We're sorry, sir. A detective was with her, but the police went on to explain that Hitomi had somehow managed to end up all by herself, and while she was alone, several individuals had forced her into a car and driven off. Osawa could barely comprehend what they were saying. His mind was in a fog. The detective's words seemed to grow quieter and quieter. Osawa's strength drained from his body. His ability to process external stimuli began to drift far, far away. It's not possible. It can't be. Could no one keep them safe? Not me. Not anyone. My girls, they... Hitomi. Maria. It's not true. This is all just a bad dream. Some kind of sick joke. It's not true. It's not. It's all just some bad dream. It's a lie. It's a twisted joke that someone made up. This. Stop it. Stop it. Say it. Say I don't want to hear it. Tell me it's all a lie. Yada yada yada. Slowly the ceiling began to spin. Then Osawa's vision went awash with white. Wait, did it? Yeah. Shut up. It's Leon. I feel like when it's like that, they don't really want you to. Osawa had a complete mental breakdown when he learned that not just one, but both of his daughters were kidnapped. But surely there has to be someone who can keep Hitomi safe. She's on the run with Archie, but where were they up to? The key to changing her fate and her father's lies with Archie's decision at 11:05. Wait, if it's 11:05, like, I'm really curious how far through the hour this was, because that was so damn long. $11:45. Okay. We've got only a slight break. And also Tama is not. It's a different name. Okay. I will go as far as an ending on Tama and then I will stop because it's pretty late. Alright, brace yourselves. It's so hot. It's
It's so... Wait, no, hang on, I gotta drink water. It's so hot in this thing! Way too hot! I feel like I'm sitting in a sauna! Everyone else in the street looks nice and cool, but here I am getting treated by my own personal midsummer heat wave! On top of that, I can barely see. I can barely breathe, for that matter. But hey, what can I do? Oh, I'm so thirsty! Some iced tea would be amazing right now. I'm going to pass out from dehydration at this rate. I may as well admit it. I underestimate how tough this would be. Who knew wearing a mascot costume would be so uncomfortable? A delicate young lady like myself has no business doing this sort of job. I suddenly have so much respect for the people on the superhero team shows. Like, can you imagine doing the action sequences and something like this? Hey, all I'm doing is standing here and I'm this close to calling it quits, but I can't. I need the work, I need the money. This is no time to be a wuss. If I give up this, what else am I possibly going to do? Check out this revolutionary new drink diet, Burning Hammer! I thrust a 3 sampler towards the passerby while shouting as loud as I can. A free portion, usually quite small, of the product used to give its consumers as a sales gimmick allows them to test the quality and effect of cosmetic health product prior to purchase. Frequently referred to as a trial size or a freebie version of the product. In addition to passing out free samples on the street, some shops include free samples with purchased products. Please note that simply taking a product without paying for it in order to test it out is theft. Do not do it. Come on, give it a try. Oh, it's no use. People just buy one after the other. They avoid looking at the sample. It's been like this ever since I started standing here. What gives? Okay, it's not a Teletubby. It's a tail. You'd figure at least one person would have taken a bottle by now. But it's free. I should give away a single one. I know, right? If it keeps up, there's no way I'm getting paid. And then this whole miserable experience has been for nothing. Also, hi, I'm close to ending the stream, I think. Just drink this and watch the bounce melt away. No exercising or dieting necessary. I can hear the desperation in my own voice, which is painful to do. Just burn those pounds away. They're giving me the cold looks now. They probably think I'm some stress to try to avoid a dodgy product. It's that simple, folks. You just drink the weight away, I guarantee it. Heck, this whole thing reeks of a scam to me too. In other words, this seems extremely dubious or suspicious. The word scam, referring to a type of dishonest scheme, is actually an unknown origin. Several folk etymologies have been proposed, including one that comes from a simple shortening of scandalous misdeeds. But these claims have little evidence to support them. This way, but drink some concoctions, but still, I'm just going to read the normal, monologue in normal voice because this is painful. Still, free is free. You'd think I'd be able to give away one or two. It's not like I'm trying. Okay, pep talk time. You can do this. Think about the money. Just start with one bottle. Alright, I'm going to give this bottle away to the next person I see no matter what. I close my eyes and gather determination. I need to get started and the momentum will build from there. Wait, I don't know who the left guy is, I think. Alright, eyes open. There are 2 people walking in my direction. Wait, 2? Oh no. Which one do I pick? Hey, it's Friday right now. If I keep waffling it, they're going to pass me by. I just need to hand this bottle off. Which one of these guys looks more likely to take it? Clutching the free samples with my furry fist. I mean, gotta go for the guy we know. This is a legend. Clutching the free sample with my furry fist, I try to force it off to the disheveled fellow to my right. To my surprise, he takes it. Huh? What's this? He asks, lifting an eyebrow as he looks at the bottle. I float my fuzzy arms and strike a cute pose and launch into a product pitch. It's Burning Hammer, the #1 diet drink. Please give it a try. No thanks, the man says. I'm good. I keep my arms held open wide and pretend I didn't hear that. Look, he says, I'm in a hurry. You should give this to someone else. He tries to hand the sample back to me, but I hold my ground. For a few moments, we were in silent impasse.
Maybe he's weirded out by my cat alter ego holding its freeze frame pose, because eventually he looks away, slips the bottle into his pocket, and walks off. I did it! I finally got someone to take one! But there are still so many samples left. My brief surge of excitement dies before it can even fully take hold. I wonder how the other mascot is doing right now. There's a sales demo happening today at 1 o'clock in the Nokamadi building. Huh? Looks like the chicken has handed out all kinds of samples. I don't get it. How come no one is taking many of mine? What could I possibly be doing wrong? I look at the clock. It's a little after 11. My morning of wandering around hawking diet drinks is just about over. I'll need to get ready to head over to the sales demo. I'd love to take the costume off, but then I'd have to carry it. These samples I haven't given out are almost too heavy as it is. Oh well, I might not have gotten results, but I tried my best. I sure hope they don't withhold my pay or anything. Hey, what gives? You got that many left? The chicken spits with a female voice. Yeah, I replied sheepishly. Nobody seems to take mine. Well, I mean, are you looking for the right targets? Huh? Like groups of girls or bored-looking old ladies. Those are the types you gotta be gunning for, you know. Wow, I hadn't even considered that. Now that she says it, it seems so obvious. This is a diet drink after all. Of course I'm not gonna have any love trying to foist it off to random guys. Well, whatever, the chicken says. Here, give me the samples you got left. I hand over my samples, and the chicken dumps the whole lot into a basket. I'll drink whatever's left so they don't find out you didn't pass them out, she says. Huh? Wait, like all of them? Yeah, all of them. The chicken sounds pretty confident in herself. These might be sample-sized bottles, but still, they add up to a lot. I can feel myself on the brink of tears of kindness of her offer. Thank you so much, that's a huge help. I bow deeply. That's what makes my mascot head wobble. Leaving the station behind, we head to Santa Guy towards the Nokane building. Hi, Starbucks. A multi-tenant office building in Udagawacho, located in Setagai, Shibuya's downtown district. In addition to hosting the weight loss drink sales demo, the building is also home to the foreign capital protection firm Japan Cellcom, the IT mainstay Shibuya on Net video game publisher Shindai Tradco. Wait, is that not Bandai Namco? And Strikeback Labs, publisher of the monthly magazine Science Strikes Back, along with many other businesses. The Burning Hammer sales demo is going to be held there this afternoon. The job's supposed to be 10,000 yen for a day, but if we could sell at least 100 bottles on that demo, we promised another 10,000 on top of that. I need to make sure I sell those 100 bottles. I need that 20,000 yen and I need it ASAP. We arrive at Nokame building, a rundown multi-tenant office complex. We head into the room where the Burning Hammer sales demo is taking place. There are already about 50 seats set out. I wonder how many people the free samples will pull in. A stage has been set up at the far end of the room. That's where I'm going to be standing, sipping Burning Hammer while explaining its effect to customers. Hurry up and take that thing off! The chicken flaps her wings as she speaks. It's kinda early, but come on, let's have lunch. I'm starving. Now, that she mentioned it, I realise I'm pretty hungry myself. The demo's not starting for another 2 hours. I can't win a war against my stomach for that. The chicken and I head to the waiting room where they've already set out lunches for us. Mind getting my back real quick? The chicken asks. She arrives, arches her back towards me. Apparently she can't reach her unzipper. Oh sure, give me a sec. I just try to unzip the back of the chicken suit, but my own suit's thick fuzzy fingers have a hard time of it. What's the hold up? I'm roasting in this thing. Hurry up and get it off me. I've almost got it. It's just awkward with these mitts. Finally, I get a hold of the zipper and yank it downward. A girl emerges from the chicken as if the chicken itself were an egg. Phew, I'm alive! Her red sweatshirt is drenched in sweat. Almost at once, she's kicking back and cooling with a hand fan. Sorry, would you mind getting me it too? I asked. Yeah, okay. I turn my back to the girl. What if it's Maria or something? I hear metal clacking behind me. At long last, I'm about to be free of this 5-ton fursuit. Huh? The girl murmured awkwardly. Oh, what? A spark of anxiety hits me. What's wrong, I ask? That was a weird animation. Yeah, that's a no-go. Zipper's busted. What? Yeah, sorry, this thing ain't coming off. Of course. What? vision goes dark. No, no, no. I took this for the costume, but no luck. I'm trapped inside. Oh, what the crap? Oh well, we can talk to the boss about it when she gets back, this girl says. I mean, it's not like we can just cut you out of it with scissors or something. She sounds entirely unconcerned. It's so unfair. I need to get out of this stuffy sweltering steam buff as soon as possible. All I can do is clench my fist in a potent rage. But anyway, good work out there, the girl continues. I'm Chiriko Sugi, by the way. You can just call me Chiri. She smiles as she introduces herself. I mean, I am a pretty cheery girl after all. She breaks into a hefty, hearty guffaw. Well, sure, I say. It's nice to meet you. Yeah, for sure. So I guess you're not gonna be able to eat lunch in that getup, huh? Huh? God, that's right. What should I do? Don't sweat it, just leave it to me. Huh? I can eat both lunches myself. Chiri doesn't even wait for me to reply before reaching for my lunch. I'd be ashamed to let it go to waste, she says. She makes it sound like leftover food is a bigger concern than my hunger. I feel my appetite stirring all the more as she devours my meal with a satisfied grin on her face. A faint pathetic gurgle rises from my belly. It's just a cheap little packaged box lunch, but right now it feels like a feast. So what's your name, Chiri asks? Her cheeks are still packed with rice. My name? Yeah. Oh, it's As I struggle to think of an answer, my eyes are light on the piece of tamagoyaki clutched between Chiri's chopsticks. Why are you struggling to think of an answer of your name? The yellow slab of lightly grilled egg wobbles to and fro. I can see the inside from the way it's been sliced. It looks somewhat undercooked. Come on, what's your name? Oh, right, yeah, Tama. It's Tama. Huh? You mean like the famous cat? Oh, well, ain't that fitting? Chiri chortles and stuffs the piece of tamagoyaki into her mouth and takes a big swig of iced tea. I am beyond jealous. I wish I could gorge myself in those lunchboxes until I'm full to bursting. Heck, even a cold glass of iced tea would be a lifesaver right now. I'm so thirsty I'm starting to get all dizzy. Maybe I really am getting dehydrated. This isn't good. If I don't do something, I'm going to pass out before the sales demo even starts. Then I remember something. The zipper down my back might be dusted, but I can still take the head off, right? That way I'd at least be able to eat and drink stuff. Alright. I decided to... let's give it a shot. I decided to grab the head in both hands and yank it upward with all my might. Oh, come on. No matter how hard I pull, it won't come off. Oh! A dull pain throbs the back of my head. Did I smack it against something at some point? Chiri flashes me a curious look. What are you doing? She asks. I thought maybe I'd at least be able to get the head off. I try pulling again, refusing to give up. That ain't gonna work. Nothing's attached to the body. I slump forward in defeat, face planting on the tabletop. No! Most folks would have noticed that when you put it on, you know. Well, I didn't. The boss helped me get into the thing, is the thing. Well, don't let it get you down, Chiri says. Here, drink some of this. She pulls out a bottle with a straw from her bag and pours some of the tea into it. In a fever of thirst, I jam the plastic straw for the mascot's costume's mouth. Thankfully, it reaches as far as my own. I suck for all I'm worth is a sentence I read while this animation is playing. I suck, and I suck, and I suck. My body rejoices as the moisture returns to it, like rain coming to the desert. And thus, I revive. Actually, it kind of does feel like I'm coming back to life. Well, thank you so much. I'm never going to forget this as long as I live. With tears welling up in my eyes, I clutch Chiri's hand in my fuzzy mitts. Oh, hey, I'm not the kind of person to abandon someone in need, you know, she replies. An embarrassed grin crosses her face. How come you're carrying this bottle around with you anyway? I ask. Oh, that's because I make my own protein juice. In Japan, the word protein is frequently used for a powdered health food supplement that contains vitamins and minerals as well as protein component. It is dissolved in milk or another liquid grain to drink. A protein diet typically involves drinking a glass of this in place of a meal. Drinking in place of tea would assuredly lead to weight gain. Protein juice? Never heard of it. I heard you have protein juice for one of your 3 meals a day, you'll lose weight. So yeah, I kinda need to keep it. Given Chiri's sort of, well, chubby frame, I don't think the protein's been working so great on... Ooh. I've been trying all sorts of stuff, but now protein is totally the best thing for my diet. This stuff though. Chiri casts her eyes at the samples of burning hammer on the table. It's like totally bogus. Huh? Bogus? That's a surprise. Well, yeah, Shiri says. You gotta exercise if you want to burn body fat. The best way to burn fat is to gain steady, low-intensity aerobic exercise. After only 20 minutes of such exercise, the body burns for its available blood sugar and the brain sends signals to have fat brought to the bloodstream. This is how fat is burned. Anaerobic exercise, which leaves you panting and breathless, is not effective. She smacks herself on one flabby arm. I mean, there's no way you're gonna lose weight just by taking in more calories. Huh? Didn't she say she was drinking protein juice to lose weight? I keep that thought to myself. I mean, that'd be ridiculous as all-you-can-eat Kobe beef, she says. She smacks her head. Seriously. I'm not sure about using all-you-can-eat as anything as an example in a discussion about weight loss. I keep the thought to myself. But hey, a job's a job, Shiri says after a moment, perking up again. They tell me to sell this junk, I'll sell it. A sudden wailing comes from the other side of the door. Please just give me time, I swear I'll get back to you. What the hell? Shiri says. Is that the boss? I nod. That's definitely Mr. Yanagishita's voice. He's the guy who hired me. Sliding up alongside Shiri, I very quietly open the door and take a peek inside. How the hell did you open the door? Mr. Yana... Wait, I don't recognize these people. Mr. Yanagishita is down on his hands and knees begging while the two uncouth-looking men glower at him. Just a little more time, that's all I ask you, please. Once I sell this stuff, I can pay you back. I see a tiny bottle of burning hammer in his hands. Just a little more, mimics the middle-aged fellow. I just gotta sell this. We've heard enough of that out of you. Yeah, the younger guy sneers. We ain't giving you any more time, so quit asking. But I really just need a little longer this time. Please, you gotta believe me. From the looks of things, Mr. Yanagishita is dealing with some loan sharks. Though it seems obvious that this term refers to toothy predators of the deep, the word shark in this case actually has origins in an older Germanic word meaning parasite or someone who preys on others. The same word gives rise to the term pool shark and card shark. In the case of loan sharks, however, the initial mental image seems quite appropriate. And the two thugs are clearly in no mood for continued grovelling. Shiri and I exchange a glance. It's probably best we don't go out there right now. But now I'm really worried. Am I actually going to get paid for this gig? As I'm pondering that, one of the men grabs Mr. Yanagishita by the nape of his neck and drags him to his feet. Come with us, pal. We'll take you someplace you can work off your debts. Say what? Mr. Yanagishita wails. The two men drag him away. Huh, guess I was gone then, Shiri says. She's already starting to pack up her things. Wait, what are you doing? I ask. Going home? Not much point sticking around. Going home? I mean, the demo sure ain't happening now. Anyway, it was nice working with you. See ya. Moments later, Shiri's out of the door. Now what do I do? I've been left here all by myself. More or less at a total loss. I'm fascinated by this first story. Our poor feline friend isn't going to get paid now that those debt collectors showed up and dragged her boss away. If since someone hadn't told the thugs how to get to Nokane building, they probably would have caught Mr. Yanagishita. The right decision happens at 11:15, but who has to make it? Oh, he got ratted out by someone else. That's kind of funny. I really like the way these stories connect. But if you'll forgive me, I've effectively been narrating this game for 3 straight hours and I am a little exhausted. Usawa has a decision there, but I don't think it was relating to that. I believe it autosaves. I mean, I'll go back. Nine bad endings so far. I wonder how many good endings there are, if there's a double digit there. Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun stream for me. I hope it was enjoyable for anyone watching too, whether live or on a VOD. I'm not sure, maybe I'll do this tomorrow night. Probably not actually,
maybe the next night. I don't know. It depends on what people are doing. But yeah. Whenever that happens, it'll happen. So enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time zone. And stay safe, stay hygienated, and stay slightly distant from people. I know all that jazz. And I need to find a new cat voice because that one is literally painful to do. Okay. Anyway, bye.